G'day everybody, Seano here, back for another live stream video. We'll bring up the, there we go. So our round 2 chat live
Seano
stream,
here,
back for another. We do that every time where we leave it on so you get the feedback, but there we go. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Today on the live stream, we will go through my team and I'll show you what I'm doing in the regards to trades and captains. I have released a trade and captains video, and if you want to check that out, go and do that and like the video. That would be great for me. And we also did our round review, so we won't go into those things too much. We're going to spend most of today having a look at your team, seeing if we can help you guys. So if you'd like to see your team, or you'd like me to have a look at your team, go to my Discord. I've pinned it in the chat. Put your team in where it says post my team here, and we'll show your team on the screen. Whether you think you need some help or you just want to brag about how well you did, chuck it in there and we'll throw it up on the screen and we'll have a look at it. So before we go any further, don't forget, give me a subscribe. Do that right now before we go any further. Like the video, and if you're watching this in the future, leave me a comment down below and tell me, what do you think about the crazy trade move that I'm going to make? We'll get to that in a sec. Sean's gone a little bit crazy and he's going to do something a little bit risky. That's a little insight anyway. So that's good. It's going to be a very interesting stream, I think. But yes, if you're out there, please say hello in chat. And if you're watching this video in the future, hope everything is well and you're having a great Supercoach season. All right, so as we usually do, we do for me. So let's get rid of this. This is what my team looks like at the moment. Now, because the game is today, I don't want to miss it. So I've got this trade locked in. Gordon, we had Gordon, and we've also got Young. So Gordon straight out for Bont. We have the money. I know he's on a bye next week, but he is the best player for a reason. So this was a mistake, fading him at the beginning. He's a guaranteed captain choice every week. I just don't want to watch the game. You know, I don't want to watch any Bulldogs games knowing that Bont can hurt me every week. So I've got him now, and I've got what I think looks like when Daicos comes back over here after this round. I think I've got what looks like potentially the top 4 midfielders in the game for this year. So why? I could not get Bont this week, but if I didn't do that, then everybody else is going to be scrambling to get him, and we will already have him. So do we want to go on and talk about Seano's crazy plan? So, okay. So, hey, Seano, how you going? All right. So, Seano, you preempted me. This is what I'm going to do now. So I've got the Gordon and the Young issue as well. They're really my only issues. So Fremantle have said that Young is definitely going to be out this week, possibly multiple weeks after that. They'll see and they'll let us know next week. Now, in my brain, yes, he could have 1 week off and be back the week after. But even if he comes back, are they going to unleash him into the midfield straight away? Or are they going to trying to limit his time on ground and sort of ease him back into it? And with his history from last year of similar hamstring injuries, maybe they just give him an extra week to feel better, you know? Maybe they, just say, hey, take an extra week off and we'll be absolutely precautious with you. So for me, I think you can do both ways. You can hold and have a look next week and see when the injury reports come out, what's going on. I do think he'll be a good player. If he can get a run of games going, if he did come back the week after, and he was at full fitness, I wouldn't be surprised if he went 100 plus. This 80, he was on more than this. He was on 90 at 3/4 time, and then he got scaled back. So he was looking to get 110, 120 game. So he's still got potential to do well. It's just a matter of, when I first got him, I thought he could be a potential keeper, maybe a D8 or maybe a mid-8, M8. But now I'm just thinking maybe this is the time to get off him. And so I'll bring up my plan. So I've made a plan. my main targets, Murdoch Milan, Braden Cook, Bont, well, we've got Bont, so that one's done. Houston, and possibly Malera. So this is the not so crazy plan, crew. The not so crazy plan. Sorry, I'm going to move this over because I can't see chat otherwise, and I want to know if you guys are chatting to me. So, hey, Angela, how you going? Thank you very much. Nice to see you. How's your team going, Angela? So here is my main targets, and this is the future targets. So these are the ones which I think are, could be urgent. And these are ones I might like in the future, like when the upgrade season comes along. And I think I lost some of them because I upgraded this to have a few more there. So I must have lost something, which makes me think that when I go down, it might not be right either. But the not so crazy plan, get rid of Goulden and get Bont this week. Then wait a week. I'm not condoning anybody going early on Cook or Milan. Haven't made one this year? Oh, no. It's not too late. Well, it is kind of too late, but it's not too late to have fun. So Young to Milan, and then next week we go Young to Milan and Blackiston to Houston. So I really like, let's talk about Houston while I'm here. I really like the look of Houston. Now I know they have two people coming back into that side of Darcy Moore and I'm just looking at the injury list now over here. Darcy Moore and Howe. I think Darcy Moore's a little bit further. Darcy Moore is a test. Howe is also a test. So when they come back, I looked at the kick-ins. I looked at the kick-ins, and even though I believe they do, it's one of them takes. I think it's Howe takes a few kick-ins. They don't take as much as what Daicos and Houston have been doing. And I figure if you're bringing back two really good defenders, you've been talking all pre-season about sending Daicos into the midfield. Now, he did do 25% CBAs last week. So maybe that's a call for him to move into the midfield. And then Houston might become even more of the man. They might even want to get the ball into his hands even more. So he could actually go bananas. If he starts, at the moment, he's taking 50-50 kickouts with Daicos. If Josh Daicos moved to the midfield, maybe he gets more of the Lions share. And the coach did come out and say he wanted the ball in his hands, and the players seem to be listening, and they're putting the ball in his hands. So, I really like the look of Houston, and I think he could be a primo keeper at a very cheap price of $4.30, and we've seen him do it before. So I'm very keen on him, but he has his bye this week. Corey says, yeah, looking at ranking this week to see if a chance in a few weeks, yeah, decide to replace Goulden with. Yeah, ranking will probably be right up there in the top forwards, you would think, but you can afford to have a look at him. And also, if you're thinking of the Josh Rochellis of the world, the other forward Adelaide guys, I'd want to have a look and see how Rankin fits in there and what type of CBAs he takes away from them and that type of thing before I would go into a Rochelli, which I've seen a few people interested in. So this is the not so crazy plan, crew. You see it's called not so crazy. 1 trade this week, 2 trades next week, and then I've also got potential if I wanted to get Cook in, I could work a way to get Cook in. So this is the not crazy plan. So here is the crazy plan. And I've got a cunning plan here, and we'll see if we can get it to roll.
Don't worry, Mr. B. I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
Yeah, Baldrick has a cunning plan to solve the problem, just like Seano does. So, yes, also, we've got the spreadsheet out again, and we know what happens when we get the spreadsheet out. Where is it? Yes, Seano's been a nerd last night and he got the spreadsheet out. So this week, this is what we're going to do, I think. I've already decided we're going to take some risk unless team sheets force me not to. This is definitely risky and I probably wouldn't advise other people doing it, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop Goulden and get Bont. Now, I started with 231k in the bank. I hope you guys can see this. So, started with 231k in the bank. And then I'm going to drop Hayden Young, and I'm going to get Wayne Malera this week. So, let's do that. And I really like Malera, and I'm not just jumping on, like you might say, Seano, you're a sheep and you're chasing a big score. You know, you're chasing the round score because you got a 142, you got the highest. Now, it's not like Wayne Malera is a player that I hadn't been paying attention to all preseason. If you go back and watch my draft video, you'll see that I drafted him in a few of my drafts, and all on about his role. So his role, he's the main kick-out taker at Adelaide at the moment, and he's got a great accuracy, and they love the ball in his hands. So that's how he managed to get this huge score. He's also got a high floor because he doesn't need a lot of kicks. Because his accuracy is so high, even if he gets like 15 or 16 kicks, he can still get an 80 or a 90 on a bad day as a high floor. And we've seen what his ceiling is on a good day. Now, yes, last year he played all season, but up to last year he seemed to be held together with sticky tape and was falling to bits every 5 minutes. So this is a risk. And I also like his mate Worrell as well. I think they're both good picks, but Worrell is an extra 50k more expensive, and that doesn't fit into my plan. I think at this, getting rid of Young, so Young's not going to play this week and possibly next week. He was going to cover some buys for us. Now I've got Malera. He's going to cover some buys. We know he can go big, and he's in my back line. He could even turn into a keeper in a dream world, or with 147 in his system of a score. In a few weeks, even if he comes out and gets an 80 and 80, he'll still go up money. It might not be a lot, but he'll go up, and I could pivot to someone like a Nas or a Whitfield or someone coming down. So the disadvantage with doing what I'm doing now is I'm burning trades, but I'm getting good players that can hold me through until, maybe through right up until the buys. Is he a keeper? Potentially. The worry is, of course, with him as well, they have some people coming back into that team. Adelaide have Hinge coming back in 3 to 4 weeks. Now, Hinge likes to take some kick-outs, but usually he's the second behind Worrell and Malera. And this isn't just a one-game review. I'll show you his data sites. So, pre-season... In the pre-season, he got 114, and he took 4 kickouts. That was in the pre-season. So the first game, game last week, he's taken 7 kickouts, gone at 94% accuracy, which is amazing. For a score of 142. And then they kind of showed last year, in the last game of 2024, they kind of did the same thing. 2025. I don't know what year it is. Flying by when you get to my age. He took 3 kickouts of that game and got 109. So when he seems to play this kick-out role, he seems to score at least 100 every time so far. That's a 3-game sample size. And that's much better than the 1-game sample size, which you might be thinking that I'm jumping on and off. So, is he a keeper, Blues Bagger? I think he could potentially be a keeper, but if he's not, at least I make some money, and I get someone in my team who can go really big over the next few rounds that other people aren't going to have. And why people are mucking around, like getting, if you're getting someone in the midfield that you're not sure it's going to be, a top liner, or in the forward line. If you're getting Rochelle in the forward line, do you think Rochelle can go 140? I don't think he can. I mean, maybe on his best day available. But we know these back guys who are the runners, who are the kick-outs, they can go huge, just like a Whitfield, just like Sinclair when he plays back there, just like when Nas was playing back there. And the other thing is too, kind of seems to me that he's like, hey, forget about this other Malera. I'm the best Malera in the family. So, I think he's he's standing up. He's seen what he's, I believe they're cousins, Nas and Wayne Malera. So he's like, look, I've seen what my cousin can do, and everyone thinks he's the best Malera. Look, no, I'm the best Malera. So I'm going to back him in to do pretty well. And like we said, Hinge comes back in 3 to 4 weeks, takes some kick-outs, but not a lot. And then Mark Keane is the other one who took quite a lot of kick-outs last year. He's out for 9 to 13 weeks. So that's a good couple of months for me to look at Malera and for him pretty much to have that role, I think. He's got the role for at least a month and at least a couple of months. Yeah, we'll see. It won't be after this. So we're getting there, Blues Bagger. We're getting there. So if we complete this trade. All right. So look at Rosie. Does it look weak now? You tell me now, Blues Bagger. Does it look weak now? You got Sinclair, Rosie, Malera. Now you got Blackiston. Blackiston's a problem. And Blackiston will probably go next week. He could score well this week, but even if he does, his matchups after that aren't great. And he showed against the two big boys of Hawthorn he didn't do too good. And then I believe he's got like the Sherrys and the Gaunts of the well. So the crazy plan hasn't finished yet, guys. Just hold on with me. So that's what we're doing this week. Yeah, I did fall into the Blackiston trap. But I look at it this way, right? There were so many mid-prices that were traps. And people got Whitfield and Kobe McKercher and Windsor. And they all kind of fell. I mean, Whitfield's not a trap. He'll be good. But the Kobe McKercher, the Windsor, and the Blackiston, they were all traps, and a lot of people had more than one. At least I only had the one. So this is how I'm going to correct that. So next week, we do a boost. So instead of just doing one trade this week and 2 trades next week, we're going to do 2 this week, and we're going to do 3 next week. Blackiston is out. We will be getting in Houston as well. So weak backline. What do we think of the back line when it looks like Sinclair, Rosie, Malera, Houston? And then we've got Brune, who's going to get DPP in 6. Brune goes back there, and then I have 1 rookie on the field. That looks pretty strong to me. Yeah, I think Windsor does have the role, but I just don't think he's the type of player that's going to... He might have the occasional peak. He might get you 100 once, but I just don't think he's going to do it. So here's the better pick, and I had him most of the preseason, I have to admit, Blues Bagger, and I went Blackiston to cover the McAndrew business, but he's still not going to be great, I don't think. He's the better pick, but he's still not going to be great. On a good day, he might get you a 90 or 100. So how do you like that back line? Sinclair, Rosie, Malera, Houston, Brune, and 1 rookie on the field. So that looks beautiful. Then in my midfield, I've got the Bont, the Butters, Anderson, then we'll have Daicos and Walsh. So we can put it. I'll show you, I kind of have to burn down the farm. Maybe I should show you that first. So to do this, to get Houston in though, we're a bit short of money. So either Sharp or Carroll has to go down to Milan, as long as Milan plays. Like I said, I prefer if you guys wait onto Milan and Cook to next week. Now I'm still short 34,000. But then I would go Selwood down, who's on his bye anyway, so he's not going to play, to potentially either a 99k loop or there is a 113k loop that plays for St Kilda. And the 3 best loops would be West Coast, Melbourne, or St Kilda, because they play a lot of Sunday and Saturday games. Now I don't like getting in a non-playing player at this time of the season. It goes against my rules. But if I was going to get the Houston in, that gets me there. Plus, because he's a loop, he frees up the DPP for me to use with Buderick and with Tanner Bruin once they both get DPP in round 6. So I don't mind that, but I don't love getting in the loop. Now, the other option is if Cook comes out, smashes 80 plus. So he got a 90 last week. If he gets 80 plus this week, I think he's almost a must-have. If he drops a 60, you can think about it. But at 80, at a price of 158,700, he's going to make good money. So I could potentially drop Buderick. He's also on his buy. So I'm getting a playing player for a buy. Now I'm only getting the 1 price rise out of Buderick, which I'll put him up. I'll put him to around about, I think if he gets like a 60, he goes to 295. So that way I've got plenty of cash to do it, and I've still got 71k in the bank, and I get the other good rookie. So in that case, I would get Houston, Milan, and rookie, and my team would look more like guns and rookies. Now, I don't really want to sell Buderick because I like the back swing, but it could be the case. And the other thing I don't like is I don't usually like selling a Carroll or a Sharp when they've still got money to make. But if I'm doing it to get the better rookie of Milan, it's going to make more money, plus shoring up my defense where I could get, like Houston and Malaria could literally go 120, both of them every week for the next few weeks. So I kind of feel like I'm shoring up my team and going into, I'm taking a risk. Malaria could get injured, or he could have that role taken away from him in a few weeks. And I guess the same thing with Dan Houston. He could have his role taken away from him. I'm kind of getting in two mid prices. One's a proven, almost a fallen primo in Houston, who I trust more than Malera, and the other one I'm kind of swapping a mid pricer for a mid pricer. So that's the crazy plan, and I kind of like this crazy plan. Taking a risk. I don't mind using a boost early on. I know a lot of content creators are telling you don't use boosts. Now, I don't advise using a boost this week if you don't have to, but the week after, definitely, if you need to get the right rookies in, if you don't have Jacks or, Smith or a McAndrew or someone you need to get him in, sure, boost this week, or you need to get Petrarca in before he goes up or something like that. 100% you should boost this week. And next week, when the other players are going up, to get the right rookies in, like the Milans and Cooks, like I said, I'd honestly prefer you didn't go early on in this week and use a boost to get them next week. And that way, you get another look at him. There's nothing worse than getting a rookie in and he either gets dropped or gets injured. And you kind of wasted a trade and then you have to do it again. You might as well wait 1 week and have a look, as long as you can do whatever trades you want next week. So teach me your ways, Angela. I don't know if I want anyone to follow my crazy ways, but that is my plan. This is what the team will look like we said, when it comes out of the buys. We'll have Grill in the center here. So imagine instead of Blackiston, there's Houston. In round 6, there's Braun, or Bruin, or however we're going to say. We're calling him Braun, with only one rookie in the defense. Bontempelli, Butters, Daicos, Anderson, Walsh, Parrish, Grill, and whatever the best rookie is. This could be Blemires, it could be Milan. I think Milan looked really good. As an Eagles supporter, I like the way he looked. I think he was one of the best pressure players we had on the ground. So then we've got English and McAndrew. So again, we need to hope that McAndrew holds his position to at least round 6 or 7. My very first upgrade, now my midfield and back line is probably fine. I'll probably be looking for the best ruck. That'll be my first upgrade, the best ruck that I could afford. Bruin will move to the back line, and the McAndrew will move down to the flex, and the ruck will go into here. And for the forward line, I'm quite happy. The forward line always scores the minimum. So Philippou might miss this week, but I'm willing to sit on him for a couple of weeks and see he's got the role so he can come back and do well. Lombard's covering me for this week. Apparently Todd Marshall is going to play, so we hear. And yeah, Buderick, well, he'll either be him, or it'll be Cook. So Cook, I don't love having the Cook rookie here, but between Cook, Philippou, and Lombard, the 3 rookies across the bottom here. Forwards normally score low anyway. Your Connor McDonald or your Josh Rochelle can always drop you a 70. And on a, if a Lombard gets me 55 or 60, it's only 20 points away. So as long as I got coverage, I'm happy there. What do you guys go? Do you think that's the super crazy mental plan? I'm doing very well, Angela. Thank you very much. Kalani White, Blues bagger. I think it's a fair option. Like I said, I'm considering, if I decide I want Buderick more than I want Selwood's money. See, because Selwood's got this 38 in his system, it slowed his money-making ability. And he also didn't take any tackles last week. Where in the first week, he got a lot of tackles. So if he gets less than 50 this week, it'll be a slow burn. You'll have to keep him for at least 3 or 4 weeks after that to make it worth your while. So that's why dropping down to a non-playing player would be nice. The same as I really hope that Carroll, can you guys please keep an eye on the teams and let me know if the team's coming out? Because I'm really hoping Carroll plays at least one more game and doesn't get dropped and his money goes up, because otherwise Sharp will have to go for Milan. And I don't really want to get rid of Sharp, because Sharp, I think in the long run, he got this 57 off low time on ground, which Scott, the old coach Scott, is notorious for doing. But I think he could still be good in the long run and be a bit of a slow burn, but it's going to play. Where Carroll, I think, can be dropped any week. So I'd like Carroll to go up one price rise, so he gets to about 150, and then he can be the one that goes for Milan. But I got a really bad feeling he's going to get dropped this week. So if he gets dropped and then I have to sell him, it makes me a bit light on the rookies here. So we'll have to see next week, but that's the plan at the moment. And also, all plans are great until another one of your primos. I'm touching wood saying Walsh or Daicos or someone, or, I get Bont in and then he gets injured the next week. So all plan, that's the plan at the moment, crew. So I hope you think it looks all right. It is a little bit crazy, and I don't recommend anyone doing it. It's very risky. Like I said, I think I'm picking Malera is the most risky out of the Malera, Worrell, and Houston choices. And I don't like the Fonte choice, to be honest. I think Fonte can have a bad game at any day, any second. And there's no way that Fonte is going to be a keeper. Where I think a Malera, a Worrell, or a Houston are all potential keepers. So Malera doesn't rise for 2 more weeks. So I don't mind holding off on him and having another look this week, Blues bagger. But for me, I'm getting the score, right? I don't get hated. So this is the point. Next week, Houston goes up. I'm not going to be able to get Houston and Malera next week. I would have to wait, which will still be all right because Malera's price doesn't go up. But I want the score. I want the score now. The score could help me win my league, which is a little bit iffy this week. My league match, I'm playing someone who has less buy players than me. And it also could, I'm looking at it this way, over the next few weeks, I expect my overall score to drop. So my overall score is 13,154 is my round rank, So I've got quite a few players out over the next few weeks. So I expect teams that have less players out to score better than me and to move ahead of me in that ranking. I wouldn't be surprised if I was somewhere between 25 and 50,000 when we finish the buys. But after we finish the buys, I've got Bont, I've got Anderson. Everyone's going to want them. No, I've already got English if they haven't got English. I've already got Sinclair. If Malera's going crazy, I've got him and I've got Houston. Like outside of the buys, they've missed Malera. If they haven't got Houston, they've missed Houston. So I'm thinking that I'm going to suffer for the next few weeks. And then after that, I'm going to catch people. And a lot of people I heard of were saying they were counting how many in out and around. So they're going like round 2. They're like, oh my God, I've got 1, 2, 3 people out. I don't think that way. As long as you've got 18 and preferably 19 or 20 playing, it's not a big deal. The big deal is how many you've got out in total. If you're going for overall score, it's total. So like this round 3 is a complete write-off, right? So I've got heaps of people out, but I'll still be able to make best 18. So this is going to be a brutal round for me. But in total, I've got 8 players out over the buys. So if those 8 players score on average 50 points more than the player I have on field, my rookie or whatever, then some players will be 400 points ahead of me when we come out of the buys. Do I think I can catch them 400 points? I do. Why they're struggling to get in Bont or Noah Anderson, I've got them. I'm using them as my captain scores. Like one good captain score and a couple of peak scores. Anderson gets a 180 and a Bont gets a 180 one week and I captain them. I'm almost caught up that 400. So that's the plan and that's what I'm thinking. And I'm not too, like I said, as long as you've got, look at the brutality of this round. And I'm getting in Bont into this round. So I'll probably have 1, we will have Houston here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to say that one of them is probably not playing. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've still got 21 players on the field. Yeah, 4 primos. I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm the same. 3. 1, 2, 3. No, 4. I've got 4 as well. And so it's going to be pretty hard, Jamie, but I think a lot of us are the same. So I don't worry too much about the individual rounds. And it also depends what you want out of your super coach. Like, I have a friend who he just plays for league. My one league, the big league, is where all my friends like to go out and drink and have a good time with. And so whenever we hang out together, it's all super coach talk. Unfortunately, the poor girlfriends, they can't stand it. But the boys just crap on about super coach for ages. And bragging rights at the end of the season for winning the league is a big deal. So he is just going to like tank this round. He doesn't like overall score. He's like, what's the chances of me winning 50 grand? He's like very low. So, which is the same for all of us. What's the chance of my chance of winning 50 grand? Very low. So if you just tank around, just get bought, like make sure you've got 18 on, but have a lot of primos out on that round. The other 2 rounds, you usually smash your opponents, which is a great league play. It's not a good overall play, but it's a great league play. And he even said that he's like, I'm going to tank around, and then I'm going to be well ahead of you guys. And over the years during the buys, that's hurt me because I've been very consistent across the buys, and I've just been a little bit unlucky that the players I've played have just happened to have no players out on the buys that I have. So I take my league very seriously. I would like, for you guys though, I want to have the best overall score as well. So, I am content creating these days, so I want to have the best overall score. But at the same time, I really want to win that league as well. See, Shawnee, man, your midfield's cooked. And don't forget, guys, if you chuck your team in the Discord, we can go have a look at your team. I can try and help you out, Shawnee, man. Chuck your team in the Discord there where it says post my team. I've pinned the Discord link to the top of the chat, and we can go through your team. Anyone watching, we'll go through it, and we will have a chat about your team, even if you just want to show it off because you had a really good, you had your best, starting score ever. Chuck it in there and we'll chuck it up on screen. And if you need help, throw it in there. So with the buys, then round 4, we've only got really Flanders and Sinclair out. So I'm not really too worried. I expect to drop ranks in the next couple of weeks, and then I expect to start catching people quick. And I think this Malera pick, it'll either go it'll go shit and go sideways, but at least he'll make me enough money. If we click on him and see, so season stats, so if he scores 82, and I think he's got a high floor with his accuracy and the fact he's taking the kickouts, I think this 80 and 82, 88 and 82, that's probably the minimum I'm looking to get for him to get. Now, if he goes 82 and 88, he'll go up 30k. It's not a lot, but it's not. It's okay. And then if he goes 90 again the week after, he'll stay around 550, or around 560. So he'll make 30k. It's not great. But if he can go 100 for the next 2 weeks, he'll go up 50 or 60k. And then he's a very close jump to someone like a Whitfield who's come down, or even a Nas. Say a Nas has come down to, 540 or 550, or a Whitfield's down near 520. I might only have to chuck a 40k on the top of his head to get to one of those premiums. I don't want to burn the trade there, but if I have to, at least I know that I'm probably going to make some money. It's going to take him basically to get injured, I think, for me not to make money. Touch some wood when we say that. You're the best in your main league, but you never won it. Leagues can be, Corey, I wouldn't be surprised. I know you're a very good super coach player, but it's a lot about luck when it comes to league. And it's also a lot about trades. You always need trades at the end of the season. If you're going for overall score and you burn all your trades before your league finals, you're probably not going to win. And you're also, just the luck of the draw. Like the last 2 years, I've had bad starts and I've just snuck into the finals, but the buys have killed me just out of pure luck that I've got a really good team, but I happen to have the best players who are out on a particular buy, and I come up against the worst team in the league who's coming like last out of everybody, and they just don't have any of the good players which are out on that round, and they go ahead and smack you on the buys. So, I understand it happens, but I have to admit, I have won the league a few times, my league, but I have some very competitive players in there. There's 13 of us that play every year, and probably 5 or 6 of us could push for the top couple of thousand spaces every year with our teams. Hey, Mikey, how you going? How's things, mate? So Milan Murdoch is first game last week. You got another week to look at him, and then he will. So that's round 3, and then his price will go up after he's played his round 3 game. So he plays this week, and then if you want him, you're going to have to get him next week. Same with Cook, and I would hold off on both of those, especially Cook. Adelaide, like we saw, like the Malera score, they kind of really had that good transition game. So, I'm a bit worried about Cook. I'm not, if you have to go one or the other early, I'm saying, in my Seano humble opinion, go Milan Murdoch, because he's only 99k, and it's probably going to be all right. Yes, like I said, Shawnee man, he may, if he gets another low score and he doesn't get those tackles, I may be just taking his one price rise and dropping him for either a non-playing player just to facilitate myself getting Blackiston up to Houston. And I have to admit, so chucking that little bit of money on top to do that with those guys, I think it's fine. Lost to them, yeah. Oh, don't worry, I understand, Corey. Some years I've been knocked out in the first round of finals and then top scored for every single other round, including the grand final. Hey, Mass. Should I call you Mass or your full name? No, I don't have Fonte fever. I think Fonte is a worry. I don't think Fonte will do that every week. I think he will make money, but unlike I prefer pay up the little bit extra. Get the Malera, get the Worrell, get the Houston. I think they're all safer than Fonte. Fonte is cheaper, but I think he's not. I think with Whitfield and Ash there, we saw Ash had a bit of a down game the first week. Whitfield had a bit of a down game the next week. So when's Fonte's game going? So yeah, I don't begrudge anyone from going Fonte. Like I could go straight Blackiston to Fonte, but I want to wait to Houston. And I don't see Fonte getting massive scores like out of Wayne Malera and Worrell. I think Worrell is more probably dependable. He's got a intercept mark game, kind of the zoning off intercept mark, where Malera's going to take more of your more of your kick-ins. But yeah, so I'm not one for Fonte. Is anyone else out there to Fonte? Did you do your trades already? Yep. So the trades this week, Malera out, Young and Holden out, Malera and Bont in, and then the trades, which leads me to next week where we get in Houston, Milan and a loop, or Houston, Milan and Cook, depending what Cook looks like. And so 5 trades in these 2 weeks. Now I think that's fine. Like I said, I'm very happy to use 1, potentially 2 boosts in the first few weeks, preferably not this week, But next week, if you have to use it this week, use it. Next week, I think is a decent time to use boosts. Yes, you like them for the upgrade period. But I just don't. I just think you getting your team right is more important than saving boosts. So my plan for boosts: use one next week. Probably use one. Then I've got when the first, buy period comes up. But by the time I get to the first upgrade period comes up, and then by the time the buys come around, I would like one or two left. So in going into the buys, I would love it if I would have two. Use three leading up to the buys and two within the buys. Don't forget, when you use your boost in the buys, you can make 4 trades. So at least one for the buys, but 2 would be nice. And then by that time coming out of the buys, hopefully your team will be as close to a full primo as it possible. I just have to play it again, crew, because I love it.
Don't worry, Mr. B. I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
I have a cunning plan to solve the problem, and this is my cunning plan. So there's things I don't like about the cunning plan, but there's things I do like about the cunning plan. And having both a Malera and a Houston in the back line, who can potentially go big, is, I think, a better option than having one of these Connor McDonald's or Rochelle's or something in the forward line that potentially I don't think can go as big. And their floor is going to be a lot lower, is the way I'm looking at it. So I'm happy to run the rookies on the forward line, and like I said, back line will basically be complete, except for we could put Braun down wherever we like him. And that way we can he'll be mid defender, so we can use him as a mid or as a defender. And then we can pick up this could be Nass and this could be Whitfield. Braun will be in here in the centre. And then we can target a ruck, potentially. Maybe Luke Jackson gets DPP and holds this role. I'm a little bit scared out of Luke Jackson as well. Now that Hayden Young's out, I think the Sarong pick is okay, better than what it was before. Luke Jackson, I want to see it again, but I'd like to see Sarong again too. So I understand people going, is anyone else, what are you guys doing for Goulden? Because I think the main options you got, around the same price, you've only got Zack Merritt, you've got Caleb Sarong, and you've got LDU. I don't love any of them, and I think Sarong and Merritt have a higher chance of being a top 8 midfielder by the end of the season, but I don't really trust Brad Scott the way he throws Zerrett around. He put him in the middle for the whole game this week, but what's he going to do next week? It only takes 1 week for him to rest him up forward to screw you over. And Sarong, I just want to see what's going on with that Freo midfield. Cully is getting the job on Dogger this week. I'm pretty sad that the Eagles got rid of Cully. I thought he was really good. Would have been a must if 119 was last week rather than round 0. Yeah, probably. He's got a bye coming up as well. But like I said, I don't begrudge anybody getting on him. I think cool your jets if you think he's going to get huge scores every week. I don't know if he is, but he will make you some money. So if the plan is to make some money and then jump onto a Whitfield or a Nass or whatever, I'm behind it. If you're getting rid of a Blackiston like me, who I'd still want to see, Blackiston could go 100 plus this week. He's got a pretty easy matchup. So it's the week after, I think, is the problem. He's got Cherry, I think, the week. Let's have a look. So he's got Cherry the week after, or Sherry, or I like to call him Cherry because he's a cherry picker because he's so tall. So he goes, Port, where apparently Vicentini was dropped for Sweet. Apparently that's going to happen. And then North, so he might do okay against Sweet, but then he's got Sherry, he's got English, he's got Gorn, and he's got Wits, and he's got Cameron. They're going to crush him. And so I think it doesn't matter what he scores. If he scores 110 next week, I still might be getting rid of him just because, the money, he's likely to get a 50 the week or another 60 the week after. So he'll have to go massive for me to keep him. Hey, yeah, Tommy, how are you? Going Young and Goulden to Malera. You're doing Malera and Fonte, so you're going Malera as well, mate. You're on the risky train like me. Get your Daicos next week. Yep, Nick Daicos with Cook and Murdoch with a boost. Yep, so you're doing something very me if they're consistent. You see a big gap with Malera and Worrell. No, I think they'll both be very good. They play slightly different games as far as I can tell. If you're an Adelaide supporter out there, correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I watched, Malera's the kick out, the runner, the break, the lines, get it to him, run, and he's a dead eye when it comes to a kick. Where Worrell does that, he takes some kick-ins, he moves the ball around, but he's also an intercept marker and stuff. So they both have their good points. The only reason I'm going, I think Worrell is safer, but the reason I'm going Malera because he's cheaper, and that allows me to get Houston next week. And I think he'll be more of a pod. Last time I checked, he's in 1.4% of teams. 1,500 people are trading him in. So that's not many. That's still a massive pod compared to Houston next week, which everybody's going to get. Like, I can guarantee you, Houston's going to be 25% owned probably next week, where Malera possibly not. So, also, let's have a look and see what Worrell... He is... So, there's only 300 people trading him. Here's where it says how many people own him. 1% of people own him. What about Malera? 0% of people. So that's a pretty good pod when 0% of people own him. The kick-ins and the fact that he's so, he's so accurate with the kick-ins. At 90% he went at in the last couple of weeks. I think he hasn't gone... So far, in the 3 games where he's played this kick-in role, he's gone at 87%, 96%, and 94%. And even before that, the only worry is, I guess, one, he gets injured, and the other, they're like, hey, let's give him a go up forward. We've got lots of defenders now. Hopefully they won't do that. But, that would be a disaster. But hopefully he makes the money before that. I think Worrell is safer. I think Malera has a chance of getting bigger spike scores, but I also think Worrell can get some big spike scores as well. What did he score so far? He scored, I think he'll be more consistent. 116, I think he could get you around about that most weeks. And I have to say that one of you smart people out on chat, I think in one of my live videos, told me about Worrell, and I wasn't even thinking about him until you guys brought it up. That's how smart you guys are. And so... No one was talking about Malera, but I do like them both. I think Worrell is safer, less injuries prone. He'll be more consistent. Malera might be a little bit more up and down. Both have good flaws with kick-ins and marks, and I think Malera can go bigger. He might get me some 90s as well, 80s and 90s, but at the same time, he could get me another 140 just as easy. You got Mash. You've got Jordan Clark. If he sucks again, you can move him Houston, Warren, Malera, and bank some good cash. Yeah, that's a good plan. That's a nice, safe plan. If I wasn't a maniac, that's the type of safe plan like I'd be doing. Like I said, instead of making 5 trades, I'd be making 3 trades over the next 2 weeks. We just need to really hope there's no carnage with premiums next week. Just leave the premiums alone, Supercoach gods. Just leave them alone. Do we want to have a look at some people's teams out there? So don't forget, crew, chuck your team in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, we got a few. We got 5. So let's have a look. If you let me know how much money you've got in the bank, and if you're watching, Michael, are you out there, Michael? So I remember trading to you, Michael, before the season started in the Discord, and you went the rookie roulette, the mid-price of roulette. And you almost sold me to it, and I got mildly sold to it, but it didn't really work, and it never really works every year, and we get excited and we tell ourselves to go guns and rookies. Next year, I'm definitely going guns and rookies, but at least I stuck to my rules of only having one in each line except the midfield. So Blackiston and Windsor, like we talked about before, I think Windsor can still give you a peak score. I think Blackiston will give you a peak score this week if we're lucky, and then he's going to be terrible after that. Windsor, it's got the role. I think he could pop off 100 on a good day, so he's one you should probably hold. Kitty Coleman, I'm a little bit worried about him, but at 230k, I guess you hold him and make up money. Jags, Lindsay, and Sarong, so that's fine. You're down on your scoring. And McKercher, I'd give him a week, have a look at him, and then use him down to a Houston. So unfortunately, you've got potentially 4 issues in your back line, which is the problem with going mid-price madness. They'll all make you some money, but you're not getting good scores out of them. So you might make a bit of a surge at the end of the season, but it's going to cost you trades. And, so sometimes it can work out all right. You drop behind the pack at the beginning of the season, you surge at the end with mid-price madness. But McKercher is definitely one. If he doesn't get 100 plus, you need to sort that out. And I wouldn't begrudge you if you sorted it out this week, just because mainly if you got stuff stuff to sort out next week. Now, it doesn't look like, I don't know if you've already got Goulden this year. So Mass, yep, it's only the first round, 59k. No one sees to shoot your team. But it's, people have won from that far out, Mass. It's only the first round. The difference between me and the first place is 200 spots. It's just the first round. And even now, we're coming into the buys. You're not going to have a really idea where you stand in the pack until you come out of the buys. Until round 6, pretty much. Once round 5 plays, you're going to have a look at your team, and you're going to have a look at the team of the people in front of you. And some people are going to be in front of you that your team's going to be better than their team, and you're going to roll them back. And other people are going to maybe have had some luck, and they're going to be in front, and they're going to be a little bit hard to catch. But you're not really going to know how good your team is until you come out of the buys, and where you kind of sit in the ranks, and how much you're going to have to, if you want to drag to whatever your have yourself an aim. Like I aim for top 10% every year. That's a pass mark, and anything better than that is good. So I would love to go like a top 1,000 or something for you guys, but it's not easy. Almost 200,000 people play Supercoach, and there's some very smart people, and there's some people that rate in the top few thousand every single year. So, they're the ones we need to be watching and paying attention to, and some of them are here in chat, so hopefully they will help us out as well. So anyway, down to Michael's midfield. He's got Butters, Rosie, Daicos, Walsh, Parrish, Brune, Grill, Sharp, Carroll, Blamiers, Smith. So pretty standard after this round. He's obviously done for the calculated for the buys. Not too sure if he got rid of Young here. He's got Jackson in English. It's nice with a loophole. And she's Petrarca, Pickett, Flanders, Pickett. I think you just keep him, and he's going to have some good weeks, and he's going to have some bad weeks. McAndrew and Flex. So not too bad, Michael. If you probably could have gone more guns and rookies in the back line, and you'd be feeling a little bit happier now. You wouldn't have so many trades to burn coming up. But overall, not too bad. Did you write down thinking of Goulden to Jackson? So it looks like he got rid of Goulden and got Jackson in, which was one of the plans I had as well. And so Corey says 127k in the bank, thinking about going Rankinine, round 1 rank 4,128. So well done, Corey, and well done on your North boys winning this week. I saw you having a chat on the centre bounce. I love the centre bounce, guys, about potentially going to the game with Big J. So that sounds fun. You have fun if you do that, mate. Trade people, if you're trading out Nick Daicos, just shut down the app. Just delete the app off your phone, and change your things. You should not be deleting any premiums out on this buy unless they are injured. You just don't do it. Like, don't. No, like I'm bringing people in. I'm bringing Bontempelli in, who's got a bye next week. That's like, and even I'm not even that worried about that. There's no way you should ever be trading Daicos. So here, Corey, yeah, are you out there, Corey? How much money? You said you had 127k. So you got a bit of spending. You got Windsor in the back line. You got Clark. So have a look at both of them this week. Windsor could easily pop off 100. Clark, who knows? You need to have a look at him to see what it is. But you've got options next week. You could go down to Houston. You can pick up a Worrell. You can pick up a, you can pick up a Malera. You got lots of options. Hey, Ivan. Yeah, he looks good. Does he look good? Oh, had Lindsay and Deb Robb on the bench for Lombard and Sarong. Had Lindsay and Deb Robb on the bench. Oh, yeah, Deb Robb's on the bench for Lombard. And Sarong, you mean you got... Oh, and Sarong over and back in the back line, the other Sarong, the Sydney Sarong. Yep, so this week I think I'm going to have a look at Sarong. Unless, if Selwood's not named, we might use him as a loophole, and we'll have a look at Sarong's score, and then if it's not that good, we'll put Lindsay on. But Selwood's named, we're going to put Sarong on the field, which I assume everyone should be doing if you've got those two. Bontempelli, Butters, Goulden. So what are you doing about the Goulden, Hayden, Young, Corey? What is your plan? Are you... you've got a nice score. Are you going to do something stupid and risky like me, or are you being sensible? Please let us know your plans. Daicos, Brune, Smith, that's fine. Yeah, or don't do Gibcus. Ivan, don't do Gibcus. Gibcus could pop out a 30 any day. He's not a high scorer. At least Lindsay is playing in the back role. He should get, on a bad day, I'm thinking Lindsay gets you a 50, or 40. On a bad day, a Gibcus gets you a 30 or a 25 or something. So I think you can never guarantee, but Lindsay, now, like I said, if you own Selwood and he's dropped, use him as a loophole, because Sarong plays tonight. Once we see the teams, don't forget, crew, please let me know when the teams come out. I might do that on my... I don't want to... Oh, he's already got... So, yeah, I don't want to do it until I see the teams come out, because I don't want to take the risk of Lindsay and Sarong. So I think Lindsay and Sarong will score similar each week. It's just going to be a rookie roulette on who you pick, to be honest. It's going to be a little bit of rookie roulette. But I think they'll go similar, and I think whichever one you pick, the other one's going to go better. So, because he's in the back line a lot. Yep. So that's why I think he only has to take a few contested marks and stuff, and he's got a chance to boost up his score. There's always a chance that Lindsay just doesn't get near it, but he also plays in the back line. I like them both as rookies. I think for rookie floor scores, they're quite high. You're probably not going to see too many 30s out of them. I'm looking at you, Mr. Liam Reedy. So Sheasel, Flanders, Buderick, Philippou, Marshall Robertson. Nice bit of coverage here. Kalani White there. Very nice. You've got yourself a loophole. Yeah, really nice team. Causa, did you say? So Murdoch for Young, and either Goulden to Callahan or Anderson, depending on rank it in and how he go and what he goes by. The buys aren't too bad. So that's your plans for this week. Goulden to Callahan. I know you did a little poll in our chat, and I voted for Callahan. I think Callahan's a very good pick. Right now, midfielders, say you've already got Bont, but you had Goulden as well. My top target midfielders are Holmes would be if he wasn't on the bye this week. Holmes looks really good. Also, coming up in the future, McCluggage looks good, but he's no good this week. He's on the bye and he's got that low score in his system. I'm thinking that you're really looking at Anderson or Finn Callahan. If you don't have Daicos, you're looking at Daicos or Butters. If you don't have those two, they would be my top 4 picks, and I think they are all very close to being top 8 midfielders, like maybe even top 6 midfielders with Callahan, Noah Anderson, Bont and Butters. I think those are very good chance of being top 6 midfielders. So I think Finn Callahan is fine. His mid-season bye is excellent, better than Noah Anderson if you already got lots on the round 12 bye. So I really like Finn, and if I wasn't getting Bont this week, I would also probably get Finn as well. I think because he's got that one lower score, a few people might fade him a little bit, but I got a feeling he's going to have a big season. And Milan, are you going to get Milan this week, or is that next week? So are you going early on Young, Corey? You don't need the money, I don't think. You've got plenty of money in the bank. You could go straight from Goulden to Callahan and have a look at Young, or you've just like, Young's in the bin. It's all over. Young is in the bin. Don't trust him anymore. Shouldn't have trusted him last week. Got rid of him. For Anderson. Only got 4 on round 12 for Anderson before trades. Yeah, nice. So you can get Anderson in later as well if you want. I still think Finn Callahan's bye early and mid-season bye are really good, and he'll be one of my potential upgrade options very early on. Like I say, I think the first thing I need to do is potentially get a ruck. I want to see if Jackson gets DPP in round 6, and if he gets DPP and he's continued to do okay, like average probably 100-ish, I'll probably get him, and the DPP will help out quite a bit for using him in the flex or whatever. If he gets Jackson gets a mid ruck, I can keep him up here, I keep him in here, or I can keep him down there, and I can have a Gandrew on when I need it. Just a little bit of a safety net. So if he doesn't, then I'll probably pick the best available ruck. I do think that I do much prefer, like Corey has here, to have a DPP player who's not a ruck in the flex. It just makes things so much easier when moving stuff around. So I really like Team Corey. Congratulations on a really good rank, 4,000. So, don't be worried too much. You, like me, you've got a few players out on these buys. I think your team looks really good with Finn in there. I think you'll start catching people and running them down pretty quickly. Sean's like a parrot. Pretty. Who's a pretty boy? Yes, so very nice, Corey. I like your style. I like your team. Congratulations. Well done, buddy. Nice first round rank. Okay, we got Samson Ryan for King. Are you in chat, Samson Ryan? So let's have a look at your defenders. Now, if you want some help, ask me. If you're just showing off, tell me as well. Let's see, how did you go? You didn't actually tell us how much you scored, what your rank was or anything. Tell me, if you're in chat, tell me what your rank was and how much money you've got in the bank. So you've got Sinclair and Whitfield. Don't worry about Whitfield. Whitfield will come back. You bought him for a reason. Just hold. Don't sell. He is not a sell. People are selling Daicos and Whitfield. Do not do it. I guarantee you the day you sell Whitfield is the day he gets 150. They do it to you every time. Now, if you go through 4 or 5 more, if you go through 2 or 3 more weeks and he gets 70 every week, I will apologize and I will say, yep, you should have sold him. But even then, I don't think you don't sell your premiums after, one bad game. Alex, this is your team. 2,300, only 10K left in the bank. Okay, Alex. You look very solid in the back line. It looks good. Philippou out for Cook. I'd be worried about that, Alex. Now, I would actually advise against that, unless Philippou, you know something that I don't. As far as we know, he was just a cork. He might play this week, and if he doesn't play this week, he'll play the week after. He's still got the role, so I still have faith that even with those shit scores in his system, that he could potentially bang out a 100 or a 90 and jump his cash gen back into the system. Plus, he'll get DPP at round 6 if you've still got him there. So if I can hold Philippou, thinking that it's only going to be out for 1 week, fine. If there's any indication it's going to be out for longer than that, then yep, get off. But Cook, I think Cook could drop a 40 this week or a 50. I think I want to see Cook again. Now, I really want a DPP forward mid dude. And if Cook can get 80 plus, I think he's a must have. But if he gets a 60 or less, I think you got to think about it. At 80 plus this week, lock him in. He'll make you money, no worries. And he'll give you a bit of movement. At 60 or below, I think there's a case for if you don't, like for me, I'll have to sell another rookie or a Buderick to get him. Do I want to sell a Buderick for a guy who Buderick's probably, he worries me a little bit, Buderick, because he didn't take any kick-ins, but if Buderick can get me a low of a 70, but Cook can drop a 40, I might prefer to keep the Buderick. And same with Philippou has the role. He just really hasn't excelled in that role at the moment. So I'd be a little bit, Alex, if I was you can wait on Cook for a week and you can look at Philippou again. I would wait to do that trade. Don't have to take my opinion, but I would 100% wait to make that trade until next week. Young has missed 25 games with hammy injuries. Don't like the Freo game plan to score well enough. Yeah, like I said, I think Young will still be good if he gets his body good. But there's just the uncertainty. They could bring him back not this week, the week after. They could sit him up forward. They could bring him into it. They could give him low time on ground. But I think the most likely scenario is even if he's a little bit proppy, they rest him for the extra week. And they're like, yeah, we'll wait to the end of the season and take the safe approach, as the captains always say. As the coaches always say, we'll take the safe approach. The big Gawn and English in the ruck with Edwards on the bench. I like it, Alex. Beating some people up in the old states in the ruck. The Shees, the Flanders, Sam Laylor, is that how you say it? You've already got Cook, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know how much did you say? How much? You only got 10K in the bank. Yeah, I'd say if you could get Murray up to Cook, that'd be something to do. But to go from Philippou to Cook, I don't know if I like it. You've got Marshall, who's bound to play this week. I'm pretty sure they've said he's going to play. Once again, crew, please let me know if the team sheets are up. And if you haven't already subscribe and like the video now. It's a good time to do that. We've got 15 people watching. I want to see 15 likes right now. And if you're watching in the future, well, you might as well like now as well. Again, why not? 15 for 15. That never happens when you ask them to, but, maybe it will. Maybe it will. So, Layla, yeah, I think the role is there. Is he going to be good? I'm not 100% sure. G'day, Freddie. How are you? Freo, he could just play him forward, yeah. I mean, you just hope they just don't take him in. Well, not for Supercoach stage, but for Freo's sake, you just hope they don't take him in. Why would you take him in and play him forward? They already lost one game where they couldn't run out the game. So, anyway. So, yeah, Alex, I would be a lot about please have a real good think about whether Philippou to Cook is a good idea this week. The only reason I'd be doing it this week is if that means you've got plans for next week and that facilitates your plans for next week. If you don't have plans for next week, like obviously you want Milan in, right? Like I said, if you're going to go early on someone, I prefer you went early on Milan. I think Milan, like it only takes, if Cook drops a 40 or a 50, this 92 only stays in his system for 1 week, then it's out, and then you find he's an average of a 50 player. He's a 50 player after that. It's an okay pick, but it's not a great pick. I think the Milan Murdoch pick is a knock it out of the park pick unless he doesn't play, unless he's dropped or injured, which is why I'd still like you to wait for him to next week. But if you got a boost plan for next week to get 3 players in that you really want, and that means you have to get Cook or Milan this week, I understand, but I would much prefer that you were got a Milan. And like I got a feeling that Carroll might get dropped. So if you went Milan from Carroll to Milan, I'd prefer that than Cook to Philippou, where Philippou will be straight back in the team when he comes back, you'd imagine. I thought of Murray for a while, Alex. Don't beat yourself up. I thought Murray might be good as a second ruckman, but yeah, maybe not. This week you've traded Hayden Young out and Murdoch in. I think it's fine, Freddie. I think that was my safe option. I'm going the crazy option, and I'm going to get Murdoch next week. If that facilitates you've got another player giving you coverage this week, and then you've got a nice little cash bank to spend next week to get any rookies that you want or get any primos that you want, Freddie. I think it's fine. You're taking a player that's not playing in for a player that is playing who could score potentially the same. I don't expect Murdoch to get 110 every week, but I do expect him to, on that, how he looked, I think he can get a 70. He looked really good. As an Eagles supporter, I watched that game really well. He looked really good. Have I still got the picture? I had a picture of him. He's happy, and I'm happy. Like, poor guy was out working on the tools only 2 weeks ago, and now he's like the best midfielder we got. You don't have any plans, Alex? So if you don't have any plans, I would highly advise wait on Cook. Just wait and have a look at him. Don't like to go. I mean, worst case scenario, he gets injured. Comes out, gets injured, or he gets dropped. He plays next week and then he gets dropped for some reason. So I'd highly advise if you don't have a reason for doing it, just wait on the 2 rookies. And if you have to go one, I'd be going Milan over Murdoch, over Cook. Cost less. It's in the Eagles, which are a crap team, and he looked really good, so there's a good chance that he keeps his position. And I think he's scoring opportunities. Cook is more of a wing player, correct me if I'm wrong, where it looks like Murdoch wasn't exactly in the center, but I guess he was kind of a wing player too. But it looks like he likes to get in there and have a cuddle and get a tackle. So I'd highly advise waiting to next week on both of those guys, unless you have to go this week to facilitate like a boost next week to get who you want. I don't think he should. He shouldn't. Freddie, as an Eagles supporter, if Milan gets dropped, I will be furious. If you mean Cook gets dropped, Cook probably won't get dropped either, but he could get injured. Shit happens. Shit happens in Supercoach more often than we like it, unfortunately. So, yeah. And he could get a 40. He could get a 30. He's not exactly a high. The 90 could be an anomaly. Like I said, if he gets more than 80, he's a must-have. If he gets less than 60, he's I don't know. If he gets between 60 and 80, I'm going to say make up your own mind whether you want him next week. I'll still probably get him because of the TPP. Sounds like a telephone company? The DPP action. So here we have Shawnee Man. 2,319 for you. Avoided Young and Goulden. Nice. So very, very nice, buddy. What are your plans, Shawnee Man, for the week? And how much money do you have in the Bankaroonie? So you got Sinclair, Rosie, Clark, Grill, Sarong, Sharks. Have a look at Clark again, see what happens. Lindsay and Selwood. Butters, Oliver. You worried about Oliver? Do you want to? Will he have a price rise this week? Parrish, Bruin, Sharp, Smith, Carol Blamiers, and you got Daicos, Walsh, and Cooper Lord on the bench. So that all seems fine. Cooper Lord is an interesting one. You got your 76 for 324. Probably not what you want. If you were going to make a correction, maybe him down to a Milan early, if you were going to go early. You rank 3685, Freddie. Nice. This is not your team though, Freddie, right? This is not your team. This is Shawnee Man's team. That's a nice rank. That's very, very nice, Freddie. Have you put your team in the thing so we can all drool over it a bit? The big boys, Gorn and English, very nice. Shoes of Petrarca, Flanders, Buderick, Marshall, Robertson. Probably the most vanilla forward line, not yours in particular, but in Supercoach in general ever this year, where I have the exact same forward line, and out of all the teams you look at today, probably 70-80% of them are going to have that exact same forward line. So the only issues I see for you, buddy, are the Oliver and Clark. Oliver will go up right this week, so I'm not too sure if you're thinking, maybe you could do, depends on what you want to do. You don't have Bont. If you could get Oliver up to Bont, that would be nice. If you could swap Oliver for his mate, Finn Callahan, or a Noah Anderson, that would also be nice. You could try and do the whole thing like I have, drop him and bring Grill into the middle and get yourself a Worrell or a Malera, depends if he's going to make you your money. Let's go back to, is Oliver going to make you any money? If you have another look at him. So first week gets 121. That's not bad. Second week gets you 69. Dun-dun-dun. Da-da-da. Last era, boys' minds, isn't it, guys? I apologize, Angela. The boys' minds, always in the gutter. So if he gets a 91, which you think is pretty doable, he's not going to go up anything. If he gets less than a 90, he will actually lose money. So you really would want 120 out of him. Oh God, that's very iffy, Shawnee Man. Are you scared, Shawnee Man? Are you still with us? What would you guys in chat do? Would you be dumping Oliver? I think obviously you look at Clark because you got another week. You don't want to dump Clark and then he comes out, gets a 130 this week. Oliver though, I'm all for, if you've got money in the Shawnee Man, going up. Or even if you can't go up, you've always got that sneaky option I do. Get Grill in here and pick up one of even a Fonte, even his mate Fonte. You make 200 grand and it goes up. But I prefer Worrell and Malera over Fonte for the long run. But if you want a quick cash grab, you could go Fonte. Trade Oliver, yeah. It depends a little bit how much on Shawnee Man's money he's got. If you can go up, like I said, like to a Finn Callahan or a Noah Anderson, I like them both. I think or a Bont. They'd be the three dudes. They're the three big boys I think we all want in our midfield by the end of the season. And if you can get one of those, great. If not, you can take a little bit more of a risk and go down to, like, it's pity he didn't go up next week because you could go straight to Houston, but you don't want to go early on Houston. So you could do the trade, and then you've got like the Fonte, the Worrell, and the Malera. Are there any other guys in the back line that anyone else is looking at? I think obviously I'm looking to snap up Whitfield and Nass in a few weeks' time. Lockie Ash potentially in a few weeks' time. But is there anybody else in the midfield, in the defence that people are like, oh yeah, we want him this year? Maybe a Lizard, but Lizard has his buy to come. The only disadvantage of getting the Lizard. That's Nick Blakey, if anyone doesn't know who the Lizard is. I don't know why the Lizard, according to Lizard, I would think it's, if one of my friends was called the Lizard, it'd be some type of drinking reference. But so well done again, 2,319, Sean, and you don't I don't know if you've already made trades there. Hopefully that means you didn't have the Goulden and hopefully that means you didn't have Goulden or Young and you haven't just traded to get out of them, which doesn't look like you have. Doesn't look like any trades were made in so far. So I think I avoided Young and Goulden, no trades unless the poo out. So you're not going to make any trades. Okay, Shawnee Man's declared that he's happy to give Oliver another go and see what happens. Daicos could be good, Freddie, and like I said, I like Houston even more when the other two defenders come back from Collingwood. Josh Daicos, they've been saying they're going to move him in the midfield. Maybe they move him in the midfield. And then, could be a really good uptake. Could be even better. Could work out even better for Houston. Maybe not. Maybe his back stays back there and they divide the kick-ins between the four of them instead of the two of them. But, I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping with Houston, that this is not just a few weeks until the other defenders come back, that this is going to be his role now and that the other guy's going to help him out. Clary to Sarong. Rory, I'm a little bit worried about Sarong. I think I'd like to see another week of Sarong. We saw what Brayshaw did. Now, without Hayden Young in the team, in the last quarter, he scored 80 points, Sarong. So I know Hayden Young helps him for sure. Well, it did in that game. So, but I got a feeling till the last quarter, he was only on 75 points. Yes, it shows he can have an 80-point quarter, but also shows that he can score 100. So I don't know if Sarong is a top 8 mid. I think he has potential to be, but I don't know if he is. I would like to have another look at Sarong before I get it by him. So buy Beware and Sarong. The midfield at Freo is weird. They had Young, who's out, which helps him, but they've still got Sarong. They've still got Brayshaw. They're running Luke Jackson through there. They're running Murphy Reed through there. So there's a lot of mouths to feed, and I'm just worried that 1 week Sarong's going to have a big score and 1 week Brayshaw will have a big score and the other week one won't, especially if Hayden Young comes back. So if you're buying him as a keeper, which you probably should be at that price, I'd be a little bit worried. So Zibby, he brought Merritt in for Goulden. I like it. Anyone else you recommend or any others to trade at the moment? I like the Merritt pick. I went Bont because I had the money, but Merritt was definitely on my radar. I trust Brad Scott about as far as I could throw him. Is Brad Scott right? Chris Scott's the old Geelong. Did I get them right? Last year, he threw Merritt around all over the place. He played him a little bit forward. He played him a little back. He did the same in the preseason, which scared the hell out of me as I had the Merritt tagged early on as a decent pick. And then the first game of the season, they're like, here, Merritt, here's the keys to the midfield. Go for it. And he smashed it. So if he keeps the keys to the midfield, I think he's an awesome pick. And I think he's almost a shoe-in for a top 8 midfielder. Tags may come, but it is Essendon. People might not want to bother tagging them. So I think their Merritt pick's a really good pick, and he covers your coming buys. So I think this could work out really well, and he's right around the same, just a little bit more money than Goulden. So I think it's a really good pick. Sinclair, Whitfield, Rosie, Blackston. You got the same Blackston problem as me. Did you say how much money you've got in the bank? Round score 2003. Oh, yep, 18,000. Not bad. That's a good round 1 rank. You've got 49k in the bank, so that's a reasonable amount. Then so I think it's fine where your team sits. You Butters, Daicos, Merritt, Sarong, Parish, Grill, Sharp, Blamiers, Bruin Smith, Watkins. Hopefully Watkins gets named. He's another one that I could potentially sway to next week if he plays again. Grundy, English, nice, 2 big boy rocks. Don't be too worried about Grundy. I think he will make a comeback. Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Marshall. Doveston is going to be a slow burn. I'd probably have Lombard on the field over Doveston just because it's north, but they are playing the Eagles, so you might get a few goals this week. But they both could be slow burns actually, and they both can go either way. And McAndrew and Flex, that's really nice. Zippy, yep. Zibby, yeah, 40. I like it, mate. You just did the one trade. You're waiting on Cook and Milan to next week, like the rest of us. If I had your team next week, I'd be doing something like, yeah, I'd be trying to get rid of Blackiston and upgrade him to a Houston or a Malera or a Worrell or something. If you got some with 49k in the bank, that might be a little bit tricky. But you also, what are your plans for Milan Murdoch if he goes well and you need him in the team? Maybe, I'm going to say you could get rid of Lombard, maybe Selwood, move Grill back from Selwood. Hopefully Selwood plays next week. Gives you, like, if he plays this week, he makes 50k. You get in a 99k guy. You got another 60k. That's 100k. Well, you're still a little bit short, but you try it. Yeah, I think he'll be a must-have. Even if I have to dump someone like a Sharp, which I don't really want to do, to get Murdoch, or a Carroll, which I've got on my bench, I will potentially do that just because the cash gen's going to be quicker. It's burning a trade, but the cash gen's going to be quicker. I don't advise burning. Saving trades is a very good thing to do, and nobody has ever won Supercoach without saving trades. But I think if you're going to be aggressive, at the beginning is the best time to do it. Like I said, and you get your rookies right and get your cash gen right. And if that means having to sideways from one rookie that might make you a bit of money over a slow burn to another rookie that makes you quite a lot of money or an average amount of money quickly, you might just have to forego that rookie because he was the reason your ship sank. Yeah, fair enough. Freddie, maybe go a Worrell then or something. Like I said, there is a chance that when Moore and I was going to call him Ho, but Howe, when Moore and Howe come back, that the roles change around a little bit, and he doesn't have that, kick in monopoly, or it's shared more between the four of them at Daicos. There are risks to the pick, but I think at the same time, the benefits, if as a proven primo, if he keeps that role, I think he can go really big in that role. So I'm rolling the dice in my back line. It could be another disaster for me. If Malera fails and Houston fails, I've got two more mid-prices in my back line, and I'm going to have to upgrade them, fairly shortly. I'm going to have to live with them maybe for quite some time. So I understand if you have players like that just make you cringe and you don't want to do it, don't do it. Yeah, so money-wise, you're going to have a similar problem to me. Zibby is getting Blackiston up to someone that you want might be a little bit difficult. But overall, your team looks really good, mate. And your nice starting rank, nice score, nice starting rank, a good way to... You've got a good team. You've only got really the one issue. You've got rid of Gould and one issue, and now you got Blackiston, which is one issue. So that's good. A lot of people have a lot more issues than you, so that's fine. Got 10k and traded Cook in for Philippou Sampson. Yeah, I don't advise doing that. Not until we know Philippou's going to be out in multiple rounds. Philippou could be better than Cook in the long run and can make more money than Cook in the long run. We haven't only seen 1 week out of Cook, and he doesn't have as good a role as Philippou. But Philippou's just kind of got shat the bed, and then he got injured and shat the bed. And I think it might take him a little while to get into it. But I'd be very worried about trading Philippou out this week. Zippy, anytime, mate. Anytime. Like I said, anybody else out there, if you would like to chuck your team in the Discord, we can have a look at it. Whether you need help or you just want to, have a brag. And not only am I helping, but hopefully you guys out there in chat, if you've got any comments about people's teams, as long as they're nice and helpful, You don't want to get yourself banned from a Seano stream from being nasty. But as long as they're nice and helpful, yep, let's try and help out these people. And yeah, or we'll just give them a golf clap for doing better than what I have and having less issues than what I have. Freddie, you've got 356k in the bank. I like it. That's a nice little cash bank that you've got there. Well, let's go. Let's go. I always like to go the back line first. So Sinclair, Whitfield, Rosie, Windsor, Sarong, Jarks, Lindsay, and Selwood. Good. I think you've got the lesser out of the duds for the mid prices in the back line, the failing mid prices. I think Windsor has the most likely to make the most money with his role over time. If he can keep getting you these 70s with maybe a sneaky 80, 90 or 100 occasionally, if he has a good game, that's be fine. Still could be good. We've only seen him for one game, but I think out of all the mid prices, like no one knew Fonte was going to do what Fonte did, but I think Windsor is probably paying off. Well, looks like he might pay off better than the others. Bond, Butters, Anderson, Parrish, Sharp, Carroll, Blamiers, Murdoch. You've already got Murdoch in, Freddie. So you got Murdoch in, you got Walsh and Braun. You had, did you say you are ranked 3,685? That's very nice. And what trades did you make this week, Freddie? Did you had Goulden? You going Goulden to Milan? Is that what you did? Goulden to Milan and banked a lot of money? Or you went, actually looks more like you went from Young to Murdoch. Young to Murdoch and banked a couple of 100k. So next week, that's nice. You've got a bit of a chunk of change in the bank. You can decide to upgrade Windsor if you don't like what you see. If he comes out and gets a 30 next week, you can upgrade him. You got Sherry and McAndrew, very nice with the loophole. And have you got the same forward line, everyone? You've got the exact same forward line as everybody else. So maybe you can updo your forward line if you want. Create, do a little bit better there. You can pick up a Cook. I like your team, mate. Very good starting base. You've got money to do whatever you want next week. The options are open. You can make one trade. You can make no trades. You can make 3 trades, depending on what the team looks like and who you like. With that much money, if you don't like... you say you don't like Houston, you could potentially go Selwood. How much did you say you had? You got 365. If Malera has another big game, you could go Selwood to Malera. You could go, I know you don't want Houston, but you could go Selwood to Houston, especially if he makes another 50k and plays this week. So... you've got money if you want to go up. You don't like Buderick. If Buderick doesn't take any kick-ins this week and you want to get a Connor McDonald, take his one price rise. You want to get a Connor McDonald or a Rochelle or a, whoever you like at the forward line. I pick it. I would say Darcy, but Darcy is out. Rankinine, maybe. Can you afford Rankinine, maybe? So... I mean, this would look like a pretty powerful forward line if you've got Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders ranked there. Plus, and Windsor starts performing for you. Windsor comes out and gets you between the 70 and 100. And you've got Rank here that can get you between 90 and like 115. It seems like a pretty solid, good team. A great way to, start your season off. So I really like your team, buddy. I really like it. Traded out Young to Murdoch. Yeah, she started with like 70k. I guess a lot of us, Young will come back and hurt us that traded him out. Let me know if you still want to put your team, Kuru. You still got time. You've got lots of time if you want to put your team in there. Chuck your team in there. And we still got 16 people watching. So make sure you like the video now. If you're watching, you must be liking something. Probably not so much me, but just there's nothing else on at this time of the day. But hey, if you're entertained for the moment, hit that like button. And if you're watching in the future, hit that like button too. And subscribe. Obviously, we've done so well with subscribers. I would have to thank everyone so much. 421. We started under 300 at the beginning of the year. And so we picked up over 100 subscribers. That is just awesome to the beginning of the year. And the last 2 videos have been really popular as well, crew, my reviews and that. So thank you so much for your support. Wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you guys and girls out there. So really appreciate it. Jay Riccardi over Toby Green. Where's the videos?
It's a trap.
Listen, I got sucked in last year to pick Toby Green. Now, I don't know if he's in chat here. A very knowledgeable person came into chat here. He was into like the top 200. Matt, I think was it you, Matt? Or it was Bojangles. He was like, Toby Green's going to be good. He's going to play more midfield. And I was like, yeah, he's at a good price. I think it's a really good pick. And then the week after, he got like a 30. And then the week after, he karate kicked someone in the head or something. So I'm not a big Green fan. I know he's getting more midfield time, but you got Finn Callahan in there. Ralston's running through there. He had a lot of CBAs last week and still pumped out a crap score. So I'm not a big fan of Green, to be honest. The role looks good, but no, not that Green. Not the good Green that's unfortunately injured. We want the bad. We want karate kick people in the head Green. Here's the Karate Kid here. So he's got an 82 and a 62. He played 67% CBAs and 78% CBAs. So I can't really see him doing more CBAs than that. 1 goal, 2. So if he plays 78% CBAs, kicked a couple of goals, this is probably a 110, 120 score. It's okay, but I don't like it. I just don't like him. I don't like him. So at 440, I think he's more on the expensive side. Like, I don't really know how to feel about any of these around this price. Like the Connor Budricks, the Rochellis, the Toby Greens. Who do you guys like? Out of all of those type mid-potential breakout forwards, who do you guys think are going to be the ones who go and really, really do well? Riccardi for in the ruck. I mean, I just don't. He's playing the second ruck to Briggs. Let me just have a bit of a drink, guys. A bit of a croaky throat. I mean, the best season he's ever had up to now is a 70. But he's never been backup ruck before, right? I don't think he's ever been backup ruck before. So if we look at hit outs. Oh, no, he has. Last season he was taking hit outs. He had a game where he had 22 hit outs and he only got 52. 111.99. He's had 2 really good scores. Centre bounce tendencies 47% and 25%. Budrick is the best, Freddie, you think? I worry about Budrick, Freddie. They took away his kick-ins last week. He could drop this week. And I think I almost class Budrick as a high-price rookie, not as a mid-pricer. I'm talking about this 350k to 450k bracket. I want to know out of if you had to choose or maybe we should chuck Riccardi in there. Riccardi, Connor McDonald, Rochelli, Toby Green, whoever else you want to chuck in there, all of those guys, who do you like? Like, the stats here look good. The fact he has DPP looks good, but I just don't know if I can trust him. He will make you money. That's a good thing, though. If you were just on the money train, he'll probably make you good money. If he gets a 70, he's going to go up 30k. So say he could get another 100, he'll go up 45k. And then if he could do that again the week after, he probably goes up. You could probably get, if he could average around 90, he probably gets to 450k. But I think it's reasonable. If you started him, that's awesome. I don't know if I'd be buying into him. The fact he covers the ruck, though, it would be handy for someone like me to have a bit of coverage for the ruck. Does he go? He goes up this week, right? Yeah, he's played 2 games, goes up this week. If I wasn't going to do the Malera pick, I could potentially do that. But honestly, my best advice is here. I'm not too sure. I don't know if that's role's going to stick for him. How does Briggs score? How did the game look? How did the game look? If West Footy scores. Round 1. So what was Briggs doing? What was Briggs not doing? So Briggs got bugger all, got the lowest out of everything, and took 15 hit outs. Was centre bounce tendencies. Briggs and Riccardi, they went 56-45 against English. So I mean, it's reasonable. It was against English. So what gives Riccardi's score? Why does he get such a reasonable score? He had 19 disposals. Briggs only had 9. Few handballs, 8 marks. He had 8 marks. Is that an anomaly that he get eight marks? 1 tackle, 1 goal, and for a 95. So this is why he's got a big stat line for someone who only got 99. 19 disposals, 8 marks, 5 hit-outs to advantage, and a goal. 6 contested possessions, 3 clangers for a 99. I don't know. If you're just as a money grab, I can understand it. The same as Fonte. Him and Fonte, if you're just doing it as a money grab, I can understand it. But if you're thinking they're going to pump out these type of scores consistently, I'd be a little bit worried. Your favourite in that price range is Flanders. Yeah, I don't call... Again, Flanders is not a mid-price. So Flanders is a fallen premium as far as I'm concerned, Freddie. I really want to know, if not him, Connor McDonald. Okay, you like Connor McDonald? So I don't know if I like Connor McDonald. I don't think I'll go Connor McDonald. Who I do like, my number 1 forward target, I'm praying to the Supercoach gods, will be Took Miller if he gets forward DPP. And that might be a big pain in the bum with my round 12. How many round 12s do I have out at the moment? I might not be able to do it because around 12s I got 1 with Malera there. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primos out in round 12. So that's more than I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5, 6. Actually, that's the disadvantage for me for bringing in Malera. There's that round 12 bye. That will be a little bit tricky. I didn't really take too much of that into account when I made my crazy plan. Does that change Sean's wannabe crazy plan to go back to just 3 trades and save the trades? Maybe I could do what the rest of the crew are doing, is go early on Young to Milan Murdoch and then just go Houston next week. Could get more mid uptake. Yeah, what is going to happen with the Sydney midfield? What is going to happen with the Sydney? Does Callum Mills come back into that midfield? So the trades this week are Young and Goulden out, Malera and Bontempelli in, and next week plan is to get Houston in for the 2 best rookies. I have to admit, I didn't really take into account when I made my crazy plan about how bad this round 12 looks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only going to say I'm going to have 1 playing rookie. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11, 12. We'll say another rookie's out. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Whoa. It's going to be close. It will be close if I have a few rookies out. It could be close. It might be. I don't really want to go in with more than 5. That could. Yeah, round 12 is really rough. So that actually might change my plans. When I had a look at it last night, for some reason, obviously it was late when I was planking my crazy plan. It was late at night. I'd probably had too many coffees. I didn't really take that into account. So I don't really want more than 5 at the moment. Because 6 means, you have to have at least 1 rookie come off the bench, and without rookies being... So if I look here, which rookies am I likely not to have, though? By the time round 12 comes along, Blemires probably won't have Blemires. He's going to move up to a different player, another rookie or a different player. McAndrew, hopefully McAndrew could potentially move up to a big boy ruck. Hopefully he's made enough money by the time round 12 comes around to move him up to a big boy ruck. Or I would have already had a ruck. Like I say, buying a ruck is one of my first preferences. I'll buy a ruck, and then that might be the time to sell McAndrew for some money. And Marshall, potentially I won't have Marshall, or Lombard definitely won't be in the team. So I don't love it, but maybe it's one of those cases where that's going to be one of the rounds I take a big hit in, and then I will survive for the rest of the as long as I have 18 in that round, I'll take a hit. And then for the rest of the rounds, I look pretty good. Jagger, I'm not selling Jagger. Even if Jagger gets more than 90, you'll probably hold him through the bye, after his bye. He'll be your last sell in your midfield, I think. He's scoring more than a primo at the moment, so there's no reason to sell him, even if he goes up to 400, 500k, unless he was your avenue to get to like Bont or something. Surely you're going to have other rookies and stuff that you can make money on, and you just leave him in your team until the absolute last possible moment. That's a good point. You got McKenna in the forward line. Yeah, so I think McKinnary, however you say his name, I think he's a decent pick. I think the injuries to both of them help, potentially. He's had a couple of big weeks, right? You got a 90 this week and the week before. How do MCIN? Oscar McKinney. Why do I want to call him? Nope, it's the other one. Thought it was. Thought I wasn't going crazy. Justin, my mate. Just in time he is. So CBAs, was this low? Well, he got a 60 in the preseason game, but we won't take much of that. He had 34% CBAs in round 0 and kicked 3 goals for 122, and he kicked 2 goals with 50% CBAs for a 90. So, yeah, not bad. If he doesn't kick goals, if he didn't kick 2 goals this week, that score probably would have been a 70. But, you know, he's probably going to make a nice little chunk of cash. How much is he worth? He may not be a keeper. Oh, 470. I don't know if I'd advise people buying into him at this price. Because like I said, I think he can drop a 70. But, like you said, if he gets more midfield time, is that good or bad? Every time he's had a big score, he's kicked a couple of goals. So, he might be one of these players like, you know, I want to say Petrarca, but Petrarca's just killing it at the moment. But who, when he gets goals, he goes big. And that's why this week, do we want to have a quick chat about, I don't think anyone's put their teams in yet. Don't forget, crew, still time to put your team in if you haven't already. My captain choices this week, vice captain the Bont. I've just got him in. He's got 160, so this is going to ruin him for everyone's got him in. He's going to get like 100 and go down a price. I guarantee it. It's the Seano guarantee. I bought him in, and he'll be getting 100, and it'll go down 15k for everybody else. So you can thank me next week. And then I've got Noah Anderson. Now we could pick Petrarca. So this week they play Richmond, is it? Yeah, Richmond. And so we could pick Petrarca, but I think in the long run, Noah Anderson will score more. Don't forget, Harley Reid tried to knock him out in the last quarter, so he probably would have got an extra 20, maybe or so points in this game. Petrarca needs to score goals to go big. To go big, I said. He'll still get you 100 with all these contested possessions or whatever without scoring goals. So he's awesome. Don't get me wrong, he's awesome. We talked about how awesome he was last week and how tough the man is as a footballer. But Anderson, I think, over the long run to the end of the season, will score more points. So vice on Bont, captain on Anderson. Like we said, next week the team will look like Blackiston will be gone and we will have Houston here and there will be a Milan and maybe a Cook. Maybe a Cook in the team. Let's set the team up. I don't like that round 12, but I think I'm going to risk it. The round. I feel like the scoring potential of the Malera, Houston, and Braun in the back line with one defender rookie on the field and then moving Braun to the midfield to pick up a Nass or a Whitfield, another player that can go really big. So this is why I'm liking these players too. Do you want to Justin McInerney, who can get you a 120 on a really good day, but also can drop a 40, or sorry, a 60 probably, or a 70? Or do you want a Houston or a Malera or someone like that who probably his floor is closer to an 80, but can also, doesn't need goals, has the floor of the kick-ins, or in Worrell's case, the marks, and then he goes, and then can go a lot bigger. So that's what I'm banking on, crew. You guys are getting the mid prices in the forward line. I'm thinking that the mid prices in the back line are a little bit more consistent, and it'll give me a look at the forward line and see who I think is going to be the best forwards who are going to be out there. You want your opinion, Seano? Okay. Young in your team, who do you think is better option for you to replace with him? Parrish or Murdoch? Ooh. Boy, let me. I'm going to pine that one over. Rory says, got VC on Anderson and captain on Butters. Yeah, Butters will have another big game. He'll have a big game, a backup game, you think, this week. If I wasn't going Anderson, I would go Butters. I didn't go Anderson last week and he made me pay, so I think I'm going to believe in him this week. But yes, I believe Butters is probably my next choice behind after Anderson. So what do you guys reckon? Obviously, Milan is going to make you money. Is Parrish It's just the one score. So they've only... Are you determined to go this week? He was on track to getting forward DPP. Yeah, Goulden looked really good. We are very unlucky for the people that had him. He looked very good. That's a really tough one, Jay Wilson. Like, you'll make more money from Milan as long as he stays in the team. But I'd assume Parrish's score is going to be more consistent. And if they don't do this stupid, God, the Essendon coach is a pain in the ass. Like, literally, time on ground was disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. Like I said, they let Merritt go wild for a change, and he played 80% time on ground. So Merritt plays 80% time on ground, and he got like a massive amount of CBAs. 68 in the end. Cabler still had the most. But Parrish only plays 69% of time on ground. Like, W2F. What the fuck? What's going on? And then who else? Like, Cadwell had 72%. That's still not huge, super high. Like, a few others. Sharp for us had 58%. Like, Archie Roberts, to some people in the back line, had 61%. I mean, what the bloody hell's going on down there? Like, what the hell is going on? Who's to say? This is why Merritt pick scares me, because if I knew that he was going to play Merritt like this every week, I'd pick Merritt. But who's to say Merritt doesn't get 70% game time next week? It's I don't know what he's doing down there. I really don't know what he's doing. So if you said to me Parrish was going to get 75 CBAs every week, I'd say just get Parrish. And, there's no guarantee that Murdoch is going to slap out another 110. Also, depends on what money you can do everything else. If you could get both, I would say get both. Like, get one this week and then I would get Parrish this week. This is what I would do, Jay Wilson. I would get Parrish this week and I'd get Milan next week. Milan, neither of them's going up. Or you can get them both next week. That's also a plan. But I'd get Parrish this week. And then Milan, I would get him next week for, do we have a look at your team? You put your team in, didn't you? No, you didn't. Pop your team in if you want. That's what I would do. If you have to go one or the other this week, I'd get Parrish this week and I would get Milan next week. Now, the shaky thing of Parrish is he has had injury issues, but he's had a great preseason, so touch wood, he doesn't get injured. Milan, he should hold his spot. If he doesn't hold his spot, Seano's going to have an absolute dummy spit. I'm going to roll around. I'm going to chuck my toys in the corner. I'm going to have an absolute hissy fit if Murdoch gets dropped because he looked so good as an Eagles supporter. But Minnie McWalter loves to play rookie roulette. We saw it last year. We all hate rookie roulette. It's what Minnie McWalter plays around the family table at home with the kids, I'm sure. He's like, they put up a dartboard and they throw the dart at the board, and whichever one it hits either gets dropped or put in. They go, hey, we're going to drop this one. Hey, now who we're going to put in? And that's pretty much how he decides which rookies he plays or drops each week. So he's very fickle when it comes to the rookies. So I would like to see Murdoch another week. If Murdoch has a very low score or doesn't look that great this week, there's all the chances that he gets dropped. I don't think Parrish ever gets dropped. He just gets injured. So I would get Parrish this week, have a look at Murdoch this week, and pick him up next week. Hey, Pure, how you going, mate? How are you, buddy? Do you want to put your team in Discord, Pure? Everyone, we've got 22 viewers now. Perfect time to hit that sub and hit that like. Wonder if we can get, we haven't got 50 likes so far in any video I've ever done. So, that would be awesome. If you do that, I'll introduce you to Kevin the Kangaroo. Hopefully he gets a 70. Who are you talking about, Gordon? Oh, sorry, Pure. Hopefully, who gets a 70? Parrish? Oh, Murdoch. Yeah. 70 is a par. 70 is awesome. Anything more than the 60 is awesome. You're going in unchanged. I like it. I'm like it. I wonder. I mean, like I said, I could go the non-risky version, or I could go the risky version. If considering I play a lot for leagues, I probably should go the non-risky version. But I think I'm just going to be a bit different. I'm going to risk it to win the biscuit this year, and we're going to try the Malera play and see if it backfires and bites me in the bum, or if it works. And the Malera Houston double defender, potential risk but potential big score challenge, whatever we want to call it. And we just pray that nothing happens to McAndrew. I do have a plan, crew. If McAndrew goes down, or there's some gets dropped, or Rob comes back and he starts scoring 40s, I'll have to go Walsh. I'll have to go Walsh up to a gun ruck. I don't really want to. Don't get me wrong. Do not trade Walsh. Listen to this. Listen to the Seano. Let me wag my old man finger at you. Do not be trading Nick Daicos, and do not be trading Sam Walsh. They're both fine. They're fine. They're very good boys. They're going to be fine. Walsh got a 96. His role is awesome. He had bulk CBAs. He had a heap of clangers. If he didn't get those clangers, I think he had 8. Between free kicks and clangers, he had like 8. They're -4 each. If he doesn't get, even if he has half as less clangers, he scores 110. If he got 110, you'd all be licking your lips and saying, I want to get him in. He got a 96. He literally, if he gets 4 more points, he gets 100, and then everyone would be happy. Do not be trading out Sam Walsh. He is fine. Is he going to be a top 8 midfielder at the end of the season? Maybe not. Can he smack you out 115 on a regular basis? Sure. Can he go big? Probably not all the time, but he has got the capability to do it. So do not be trading out Sam Walsh. But if I had to, because I have no other option and I need to get a ruck in, he would be my option. Or hopefully Parrish makes enough money for him to be the option. Or, maybe the Malera pick doesn't work and he can be my option. But anyway, that's my get out of jail card, which I don't want to use. M is for Murdoch. Yes, the good Murdoch. Team is up. Check the trades in for the top 1%. We can do that. Let's have a look at your team and then we will do that. All right, she's a little... Oh, no, she's clear. I was going to say she's a little bit blurry, but that's probably just Seano's eyes. Sinclair, Rosie, Clark, Windsor, Sarong, Jakes, Lindsay and Selwood. Looks good. You get another look at Clark and Windsor this week. See what they can deliver for you. Butters, Anderson, Richards, Parrish, Grill, Sharp, Carroll, Blamiers, Daicos and Walsh on the bench, and Jagger Smith on the bench. Looks very solid, my friend. No issues there. No Goulden. You had no Goulden and you had no Young. Very, very nice for you. I said you said you're making no changes, so I assume that means all good. You got English and McAndrew with Edwards on the bench, and then the same forward line as everybody else, and Bruin in the flex. Yep. So I like it, mate. I like the conservative, not burning your trades this week. Have a look. What are we doing with Carroll if Carroll gets dropped? Yeah, Corey, you said it. I thought it. You said it. And then I looked over. I thought it, looking at Carroll, and I looked over, and you've already written it. You must be a mind reader, because I would love Carroll to play one more game and just go up for 35k. If he gets a 35, he goes up 35k. Just one more game. Just give him one more chance and let him get a 35 minimum. That would help me. That money would help me out a lot. Projector score 34, he goes up to 35k. If he can get a 50, he's going to go up 40k. Just let him play one more game. But Carroll to Milan, like, I think that's valid. If you were someone like Jay Wilson, who, if you wondering who you're going to get, Parrish or Milan, you can wait till next week. But if Carroll goes out, you can't really see him coming back unless there's an injury or something. You might want to go early and get them both. I mean, I don't, like I say, there's no issue with looking at Milan Murdoch for another week. But, yeah, I'd probably still look at him for another week if I was you. And you can just have Carroll on your bench. But if you want the playing player this week, I understand. It is always safer to, wait. He's fit and building nicely. I don't know if he'll be a keeper, Rory. I don't think Parrish will be a keeper, but he might be there right up to the end of the, he might be one of your last upgrades. I don't think he's a top 8 midfielder, but I think he's a very nice score for his price. So you're going to want them both. I think it's just a matter of who you get this week and who you get next week. Parrish has a better chance of going big again, I would say. So Parrish there's a better chance of, if he gets some decent time on ground, could easily knock out a 110, 115, or 120. Whereas Milan Murdoch, he's done it once. He hasn't got that same role, so I wouldn't be, a 70 from him is very acceptable. Young to Fonte or Murdoch. Like I said, I'm not, depends on what sounds like you're just after money. If you're just after money, go Murdoch. It's a tricky one, because if you go to Fonte, you're wasting a trade. Let's put it that way. Fonte's not going to be a top 8 midfielder, defender at the end of the season. Not as far as I'm concerned. I don't think he'll be a top 6 defender at the end of the season. Murdoch is a rookie that everyone's gonna want. So Fonte goes up money this week. So as a pure money grab, you can go to Fonte. It depends who you're getting rid of too. Let me know who you're getting rid of, Mass. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds, crew. Please don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Yes, so please don't go anywhere. 1 second. All right, we're back. We're back. Sorry about that, crew. BJD ZX 100. Who do you play 300? What are your choices, BJ? How much money do you have in the bank, and what are your choices? And if you want to pop your team in Discord, we can have a look at your team. Yeah, Mass. I'm not sold on the Fonte pick. If you're picking him for his scores, I'm not sold on it. I think there's a 50 or 60 or 70 score coming. It might not be this week. He might get 90s for the next few weeks and make you a ton of money. Or he could drop you a 50 this week or a 60, just like Whitfield did last week or Ash did the week before. So, the fact that he is going to go up money, though, now is the only thing. So, and at 300k, he's reasonably cheap. It's, I don't know. I think Murdoch is a guaranteed must-have. Might not score as much as Fonte. Fonte is a luxury. I want some money. I'm going to have to upgrade him later on. I'm happy to burn a trade. Where Murdoch is, everybody's going to have him. As long as he plays, you're going to need him too. So the fact that they go up prices on different days, though, it makes a difference. If you need the money that Fonte makes to do something in your team later on, I can understand it. But I'd probably say Young to Murdoch myself. And you'll probably score a little bit less, but you'll make more money in the long run. And I wish I would listen to my own common sense instead of picking Malera. So that's why I could pick Fonte here, but I don't want to, and I'm not going to. So I feel like Malera has a outside chance of being in a top 8 defender if he keeps the role, where I don't think Fonte will be a top 8 defender. You'd have to go Milan for Carroll, yeah. But if I do that, then I can't afford to do the Houston plan next week. So I really need the Supercoach guides. Are the teams out yet, crew? Please keep checking for me and let me know when the teams come out, and we'll go through the teams. Not out yet. So that'd be awesome if you guys could let me know when that is happening. We said you want to look by. So the best way, if you're a bit new to Supercoach, if you want to do your research, you go to the players up here and you use Supercoach Plus, which is always worth paying for, I figure. If you want to take your Supercoach seriously, you might as well play for Supercoach Plus. You can do like the cash cows. It's brilliant. It tells you who's gonna go up the most in this round. So Petrarca, 6, predicting Petrarca's going to go up the most out of everyone. And so this gives you, so Fonte's predicted to go up 47k. So as a cash grab, he's pretty good. He's 4th out of everybody. So if you were jumping off a Blackiston onto him for the money, or going, even the Young, who, going from Young to him, I think it's fair mass. I think at that amount of money, and then he makes 14k, they reckon, afterwards. It could be more than that if he continues to score well, and then he has a break. So you're going to make, say this one's a little bit higher, you're probably going to make 70, 80k by the time it gets to, the only reckons it's going to go up 95k the whole season. So you could potentially be up 80k before round 4, before his bye. If that's enough money for you to then move up to somebody else, you'll be worth 380 then. Fine. Maybe you keep him for a couple more weeks, and maybe he gets you, close to 410, 420 if you're lucky. So reasonable. Logan McDonald also at a 200k. He's 200k, but I think he could drop a bad score at any time as well. I don't think I'll be buying into Logan McDonald. I think it's got worries written out. I probably prefer if you got Malcolm Roses, even though he's he's a small forward, but he's at 50k cheaper. I think you got a chance to make more money. He's predicted price season change. Like, these are on low. These scores here. A lot of these players, like Shai Sarong, there's no way he only makes 95k at the end of the season. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but it says he makes 95k at the end of the season. So I think it's a bit hard for you guys to see. What about if I do this? Does that make it a little bit easier for your crew? Makes it easier on my old man eyes. Parison. Is it true, Corey? Are you just making funnies? I wouldn't be surprised if they name their son Milan. Why not call him Paris and Rome and Roman? I would not be surprised. Nice good Italian family, or someone who's obsessed with Italy. So Lombard has not going too well. Max Hall, a lot of people are talking about Max Hall as a potential. He's a bit expensive for my liking, but I know someone who said they want him in their forward line. Riccardi predicted to go up 430. Yeah, so I think Riccardi's a little bit expensive at 370 for the amount of money you're going to make on him for someone you're not going to keep. I prefer, if you're going to go for one of these money-only deals, the cheaper the better, because they got more chance to go up. Like Fonte over Riccardi, because he's got more chance to go up. You know, if you're already picking an almost 400k player and they just have one bad game, it's a problem. It really drags down their money-making thing. One trade should be worth at least 100k once we get into it. In the beginning, I think you're allowed to make trades to, like I'm making a trade, hopefully Carroll, if he goes up with one price rise, I'm just going to grab the 40 or 50k and move on to a better rookie. I think that's okay at the beginning. Once we've made these initial trades, if you're making a boost, you make your boost, you get the best rookies that you think they're going to be, and then you have to hold. Don't drop them. Like, this is why I'm giving a warning to everyone who's dropping Philippou. It's got Sam Powell-Pepper smacks of it from last year. Sam Powell-Pepper came out and he got a 20 or an 8 or a 10 or something, and I dropped him straight away. And he went on and made one of the most monies out of all the rookies. He went on to make like 300k or something in the end. All I had to do was hold him, but I got impatient and I dropped him after one round. So if you're dropping Philippou, don't be surprised if he turns around and smacks out a couple of 80s or 90s playing in the St Kilda midfield. And, you know, all of a sudden he's worth 350k or 400k. I'm just warning people, if you're doing, it's better to look at them, better to wait and look at those type of rookies. Unless it gets you, like if you're, and I'd prefer, like I say, I prefer you getting rid of people like Carroll and Philippou that seem to, the people who are on shaky job security more than the people who looks like they got their role, looks like they're in the team, and they just need to get a few good scores. And that's why with my dodgy plan, the dodgy risky plan, if I have to sell Sharp or Buderick next week to make my plan work, money-wise, it could come back and backfire on me further down the season. Who are our captain options? Who are our captain options? So, and we wanted to look, you wanted to look in, so coach's choice, and in coach's choice, you can go teams in my league, top 1%, top 5%, top 10%. Now, top 10% or whatever at this time of year doesn't mean much, but you can I get an idea, like season own change. So who round own change. So Jagger Smith, 17,000 people are getting him in. Is that right? Christian Prochaka, 17,000. Oh, this is last round. People have got them in, I'd assume. Break evens, owned by 99, 98, 97. So these are all standard players. Like, we should have most of these players. If you're seeing the 99% of people own this player and you don't have it, that's probably a player you should be looking to get. First player I don't have on this list is, I have them all. I still have them all. Actually, I looked at this the other day. I think I have, my whole team is in almost the most popular players. Luke Jackson is the most popular player that I don't have. He's owned by 41% of teams this round. 41% of teams owned by 41% of teams. Must have gone up by 7,000 teams this round. I'd like an extra look at your Luke Jackson too to see what the role is. Great score. If he can back it up this week with another 120, I'm not too sure what's happening with Darcy. Darcy looked terrible. They let him playing this, just come and basically take the centre bounces. I don't know, but I'd like a second look at Luke Jackson. But the DPP, if he gets midfield DPP, could be nice. I called it my cunning plan, Pure, and because I think it's so funny, because I'm an old fella, play it again.
Don't worry, Mr. B. I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
I don't know about you guys. I love Blackadder. You guys might be a little bit young for Blackadder. And some of my references, if you watched my my video, my captains and trade talk video, you might have been a little bit young for my two video references. I don't know if you know where my references are from my, you know, the two, well, One was Vince McMahon, which were saying you're fired, which I thought was funny. But the other one, you know what movie? How many old folks are we here and we know what movie that's from? Oh, Captain, My Captain. Should be a few other old folks like me. Milan Murdoch's already owned by 40% already. Caleb Windsor owned by 38%. Selwood. Hayden Young still owned by 35%. So that's interesting. It's a good way to do it, crew, like that. Okay. Break evens. We had a look at the break evens. Who's going to go the best? So, for captains, watched it and loved every season. Blackadder is one of the funniest shows ever. One of the funniest shows ever. Rowan Atkinson in his well prime. Much better than Mr. Bean. All of you people that think Mr. Bean's the best thing, Mr. Blackadder, that Rowan Atkinson ever did, it wasn't even close. Wasn't in the same league. Anyway, we won't talk about that. I'm old enough, Mass. I cracked the big one. I cracked the big one just this year, just gone. So it started with a 5, ended with a 0. So now's the point where you say, Seano, you don't look your age. And then you get a prize. Whatever that prize is, I don't know. But then you get a prize. Yes, Seano is the big 50. It was the big 50 last year. A half a century. And so, not the best way to look at it. Trade in and trade out. You want to go down the bottom to the trades in and trades out. Trade out of my team. Philippou, I think this is a mistake. 16,000 people are doing it. Unless he comes up, St Kilda says, oh no, he made a mistake. He's not a test. Because in the injuries, he's listed as a test and it was only a corky. So I want to see him, even if he's out for 2 weeks, I'll probably still hold him. If they say 4 weeks, 5, if they say 3 weeks plus, I'll get rid of him. If they say 2 weeks or less, I'm holding him. He's got a good role. He will make money. I don't love it. Blackiston, yeah, I understand why people are doing this. He hasn't made any money. He got a low score. He, like me, I think it was a mistake. I got him in all this. Oh, he's going to be DPP and help me out in the midfield, in the ruck line later in round 6. Unfortunately, by the time he's in round 6, he might start losing money because he's up against Sherry and Gawn and English after this week. This week he was up against Sweet, where he might have a bit of a bounce back game, but after that he's going to get crushed like an ant. So I'm out of him next week, but if you're jumping off this week for a Fonty or a somebody, I totally understand, because even though I'll be off him next week without making money anyway. Dylan Sharp, you shouldn't be doing this, not yet. If you need to do it next week, like I might have to facilitate plans, I still don't like it. Still looks like he's scoring, he's had low time on ground and his scoring wasn't great, and but he looks like he's in the team. He's a lot more solid than Carroll, who looks like he could be out any second, and I'm afraid to see what happens when the teams come up. Let's be honest, I'm afraid when that happens. Nick Daicos and Sam Walsh, stop doing this. So 2,470 people, go and see your psychiatrist right now, because you are some crazy people. Do not be doing that. That is totally insane. And if you're getting rid of Walsh, these 1,985 people, you are also insane. If that's the worst problem you have in your team, I want your team. If you don't have any Youngs, why the hell isn't... Young would be there. If I did my team back there, Young and surely Young and Goulden are the top 2. I don't want to reset my team, crew, because we do have the Sydney game tonight, and if I forget to put Bont back in, I'll be stuck with Goulden and without Bont. And so I don't want to do the teams. If you want to see what trades I did, I went the risky cunning plan trades of Goulden and Young to Malera and Bont. My other option was just to go to Bont and not to trade out Young. and wait and have a look at him next week and maybe get rid of him this week. But I thought I'd be a greedy man and try and get some points on field. And I do like Malera. I'm saying, like I said, all you guys are like, Seano, you're just jumping on the 142. I'm not jumping on the 142. I did my research. I've got 3 games of data. He plays where he gets well in this role. In this role, he hasn't scored less than 100 yet. So I've just put the mocker and the jinx on him. So he's bound to get a 60 this week. But I like the pick. And then what we got? Most traded. Oh, that's most traded out. Yeah, most traded in. Okay, yep. So Milan Murdoch, fine. People are going early. Like I say, if you can wait to next week, wait to next week. But if you have to go early, fine. Caleb Sarong, I'm still worried about this, but I understand he might make me. I hope he makes me eat my words. But I got a feeling this 150 is. It might be the highest score he gets all year. And I have would not be surprised if he gets a 90 this week. I think the thing that really helps him is Hayden Young being out. When Hayden Young comes back, so these next few weeks, it could be really good for him. He could go really big. And then when Hayden Young comes back, then maybe you get a few lower scores. But you're not getting him for the money and the fact that you got 150. You're getting him because you think he's a keeper. If you think he's a keeper, that's fine. But Freo game plan and the amount of midfielders have worry me that there's not enough points to go around. You saw Brayshaw had a small score. He had a big score. What happens if Brayshaw gets a big score this week? Does that mean Caleb Sarong has a low score? I'm not too sure. Braden Cook, again, I would suggest hold off till next week if you can. Especially Cook. I'm a lot at their prices. Milan Murdoch this week, if you have to do it, can't control yourself. If you want the money you want Young down to Murdoch, so got money to throw around next week when all the rookies are on there, all the other rookies are on their, on their price rise. Fine, I understand it. Braden Cook could easily drop a 40. I know he's got this DPP that we're all looking for, but have a look at him. See how he looks. Does he get a reasonable score? If he gets over 70, 80, get him in. I'm saying over 80, he's a must-have. Under 60, he's a think about it. 60 to 80, he's a probably get in, but you don't have to. He's not a must-have. That's what I'm calling on Braden Cook, but I'm saying 100% a wait until next week. And don't be getting rid of Philippou for Cook. Don't do that. I think that's bad. Don't forget, if Philippou plays enough, he'll get mid-forward status. If he can have a few more games before round 6, I think there has to play a minimum of 3 games. So if he can get 2 more games in, if he has this game out round 2, but then he plays round 3 and 4 and 5, he should get mid-forward status as well. Fonte, understand, money grabbing. He's going to make, I think he was predicted to make the second highest amount or right up there. So as a money grab, understand, as a potential scorer, I think he's got a chance to do. I think he's got the exact same ability to put the same score up as a Windsor or a Blackiston. So if you're going a sideways from Windsor to Blackiston, don't be surprised if they get the exact same score this week. But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. And Zack Merritt, I like this trade, except for bloody Brad Scott. Brad Scott? Yep. I don't know all the Scott brothers. One of those bloody Scott brothers. I like this, except if I could trust the coach not to screw around with him. And I don't know if I trust the coach. But if you said to me, Merritt's the man and he'll always play midfield and he'll get the top or one of the top 2 CBAs every match, I'd say lock him in. He's almost a guaranteed top 8 midfielder and he doesn't have a bye. So I kind of myself like it more than the Caleb Sarong pick. The only thing Caleb Sarong, they both can be tagged, but, I kind of like the Merritt pick better than the Caleb Sarong pick, to be honest. Your 54, Pure, you old bugger. Pretty rude, Seano, considering you just told everyone how old you are. So we are rookie score age, or a rookie score age, Pure. Well, I don't want to get to a primo. Well, it'd be nice to make it to a primo age score. What about Worrell, Pure? I like him. I like Worrell and I like Malera, and I like both their roles. We had a big chat about I'm going Malera because it's less money and it means I can get Blackiston with a lot of moving and shaking with my crazy cunning plan next week to get him to Houston to have two potential guns in the back line. Worrell, I think, is a little bit more dependent. He has a better injury record and they play slightly different as far as I can see. We discussed this. Malera's the runner, the kicking guy, the runner, the breaking lines, and a very, very, very good kick. Worrell's an intercept mark, sort of the Jeremy McGovern type of role, gets off his man, and then he also uses the link out and and takes some kick-ins too. I think they're both very good, and they'll both be good until their compatriots come back. Where, like we discussed, so you got Hinge back in 3 to 4 weeks. He usually takes some kick-ins, but not more than those two guys. He might take some off both of them. And then Mark Keane, who took quite a lot of kick-ins last year. If we have a look at the kick-in summary, he took quite a lot of kick-ins, but 9 to 13 weeks. So that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time to have a look at it. So in 2025 for Adelaide, see, Keane is injured. He took most of the kick-ins. Worrell took the second amount. Hinge took 1 and Malera took 3. So this stat line down here, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it, the very one. So Keane took 8 and it was 3. Mitch Hinge took 1. So when Mitch Hinge comes back, the most he ever took was 4. He takes 1. So he might take a few off Wayne Malera. But, Keane, we don't have to worry about him for 9 to 13 weeks. When those 9 to 13 weeks are up, if it looks like it's going to hurt me, we'll deal with it then. In the meantime, though, it looks like he's got a good role. So in this year, Malera took 7, Worrell took 3, Murray took 2, and Rory Laird took 1. So you assume with Hinge comes back, he probably comes back instead of Murray and maybe takes those 1 or 2 there. Worrell it might have just been Malera's day. I assume they almost take 50-50. So, I think Worrell is a safer pick. But I think Malera has... I think Worrell's scores will be more consistent. I think Malera his scores will be more up and down, like this 140... Like we said, so the last 3 games he played this role, he's got a 109, a 114, and a 142. Now, let's look at Mr. Worrell. Mr. Worrell this year has got a 115 and a 116. So, probably stick right in around there. Like I said, you got to worry about the round 9 bye, so you can't have them both. And a round 12 bye, so you can't have both. But if I had the money, I had to go for it, I'd probably choose Worrell just because he's a little bit more dependable. But I don't have the money. So we're going the risky Malera role. We're praying he doesn't get injured, and we're praying he doesn't get his kick-ins taken away from him. The Audi used by, are you talking about Luke Parker, or who are you talking about? The Audi used by? Who are you talking about from North? Are we not looking at players here? Oh, LDU. LDU. The LDU's by. I liked him from the beginning of the season. I think a 104 is okay. It could have been better. If you've got him, hold him. Do you buy into him? I'd have another look at him. I wouldn't buy into him this round. If he's definitely one of the options to place young. If you're going up and you haven't got a lot of money, your options are LDU, Merritt, and Sarong. They're my three. Out of those, I like Merritt the best. And then if you've got more money, they're no buy options. If you would like to get a top midfielder, you've got Noah Anderson and Finn Callahan, or I think are a step above the rest of those guys, except for like Merritt's as good as those guys in the right role. I think we know where Finn Callahan's going to play, and we know where Noah Anderson's going to play. Where's Merritt going to play? He's a midfielder. Let's play him in the midfield. Makes sense? Maybe not. So, yeah, I think he's an option, but I would prefer Merritt. And Sarong, is he better than Sarong? Or I'd put him as Sarong as pretty even, to be honest. But I guess Sarong showed he's got the 150 up his sleeve. The good thing with LDU, he's the man at the club. You got Sheasel's the number one man in the midfield. LDU, he's getting all the... I assume that he took all the CBAs. I assume he took all the CBAs last week. CBAs, North, 87%. Phil O'Sullivan took 87% as well. So Hayden Sheasel spent some time up forward. So he's going to take the CBAs. He can go big. He can get you that 152. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. If he's going to go big, it'll probably be this week against the Eagles. That half forwards are... I think the jury's out, pure. Depends on... any time you have a player that can get you between 15 and 25 possessions and multiple goals, they're going to score big. As soon as that player doesn't get the goals and they've got 15... they've got 20 possessions and no goals, the score goes down the you-know-what. So... a couple of weeks sample size, I don't think is a good way to predict it. If you were asking me my honest opinion, they will still get outperformed by obviously the full-time midfielders. They got no chance of staying with them. These half forwards that are with them at the moment, like holding with Flanders will run them down eventually. Run them down. So, then I'm not considering too many of these. I'm looking at Darcy and I'm looking at Thrillthorpe, as I like to call him. But I'm hoping that there's better options come along. We're going to be more consistent. Like Took Miller, good old Tuk. If he gets forward status, he'll be my first upgrade into the forward line, and Rankinine I still think will be very good. So if we talk about what you want your forward line to look like at the end of the season, my forward line in Seano land would look like Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Rankinine, Took Miller, and one other. Like whether it's a Thrillthorpe, whether it's a Darcy, whether it's someone like a Connor McDonald or a Rochelle, someone who's had some massive breakout and is playing midfield time. That's my dream forward line at the end of the season, with potentially a mid defender here in the flex, a ruck if we have to have him. But if I can find a mid defender, say a Nas here or a Connor Rosie here, someone who I feel who can score as much as the rucks this year, maybe even more, and offer me more flexibility, because even a Luke Jackson with the ruck mid is probably fine there. So this is kind of my dream team. Then here, the two big boy rucks, like a English and a whoever the next best ruck is. So here would be perfect. Jackson keeps his role, plays mostly ruck, and when he's not rucking, he either plays as a midfielder or as a forward. and scores 120 every week. Beautiful. Very nice. I will pay up for that. Even if he goes up, I will pay up for that. This spot is held by whoever's the best out of Sherry, Cameron, Grundy. Whoever's the best gets this spot. In the midfield, well, we've got Daicos and Walsh already, so they're pretty much stayers. So I want Finn Callahan, I want Max Holmes, and I want maybe Hugh McCluggage. That just sounds like an absolute killer midfield. And in the back line, hopefully Malera and Houston are still there. Hopefully they're doing the job. And then we get like a, this guy, maybe a Whitfield or whoever's doing the best and a Nas type of thing. That's my dream team at the end of the season. But the real thing we want to do, crew, now this is the plan though, and this should be your plan. This week we're setting up our teams. Like I said, if you have to make a boost, use your boost. Don't listen to anyone saying save all your boosts. You should save boosts, but this is the week to spend them if you need to. Not so much even this week, but this week and next week. I had planned to particularly boost maybe next week and the week after, and I still might do that if I need to. I hope I don't. I hope I only need to boost next week, but I think doing 2 at the beginning of the season to get your team right. So when you come out of those buys, your team looks really good and you can have a real good shot at getting, into upgrade season and getting decent scores every week. So, but all those players I talked about that I want, I'm not paying up for them. The only one I could really believe myself paying up for is Luke Jackson. If Luke Jackson has that role and he'll have to pay $650 for him or whatever, I'll probably pay $650 for him. So I'll just do it. But everybody else, say Hugh McCluggage, he's got a 13 in his system, I think. If Hugh McCluggage could be 580k or 600k in about 4 or 5 weeks' time, if he doesn't have decent scores in the next couple of rounds. So he's definitely one that you could look to pick up. Like Holmes, I have to wait for him to have a down game. But I'll be looking for any of those players that I mentioned to get around 550. When I get to 550, I'm going to snaffle him up. He won't be the first, Rory. Mark Blickass was a ruck mid several years ago. Rory, Mark Blickass was the first ruck mid several years ago. He has been the only one ever, as far as I know, who played anyway. But yes, 100% Mark Blick the ass was a ruck mid about 3 or 4 years ago. When he played that, the old steeplechaser played that role. So that's why he would make a great flex, because he would offer, you could get your midfielders down and you could get him there. So even if he's not the highest scoring ruck, if there's a ruck out there going 130 every week and Jackson's going 115 to 120, that's all right, Rory. I'm full of useless crap that other people don't know. My head's full of useless crap that's useful to no one but other people don't know. But yeah, Jackson, like it. I like it. I'm willing to pay for it. What time have we got, crew? Has anyone else put their teams in? Do we want to call it close to the end? I think we've done a good couple of hours, which is nice. I got to chat to everybody. There are some other streams that usually happen. I don't know about you guys. You guys have watched the Centre Bounce Boys? I love the Centre Bounce Boys. Big J and Joe, total legends. They usually do a drive home, and I like to watch their stream. So, if you finish watching me and you want to go watch someone, go and watch those guys. Come over and join me, and we'll watch it. You didn't have to retract your message, Rory. You didn't have to retract your message. Like, just something I always remember. Like you, I remember that was so weird to have a ruck mid. It was it's pretty useless because you got no one else to join with. Before the flex was along, it was absolutely useless. But now with the flex, it makes it a little bit more useful. All right, crew. So I think no one else put their teams in, did they? We make sure. No, Pure, we had a look at your team, didn't we? We did have a look at your team. Yep. So thank you once again. If you're still watching now, subscribe. Like the video. Like I said, we'd love to get to 50 likes on one of my videos. And leave me a comment down below if you're using this in the future. What do you think about my cunning plan? Do you think it's a crazy plan, or do you think I'm a genius? No one's going to say a genius, but yeah, some people might say I'm a crazy person. Anyway, so do all that for me. Join the Discord if you haven't already joined the Discord, and maybe next time we'll put your team up on the screen. Don't forget, there's lots of really smart people in the Discord as well, so you don't have to wait till one of these videos comes on. You can go in the Post My Team Here section or the chat section and put your team up and say, hey guys, I need some help. What do you think I need to do? And we will do that for you. And yeah, so go ahead and do that, and we'll probably talk to you there. And for everybody else watching the video today, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will talk to you all again very soon. But before I go, I'm going to do the usual where we say goodbye to everyone. So Rory, see you Pure, see you Mass. Thank you for everyone who put in their team. BJD, ZX100, good to see you, mate. Jay Wilson, thank you. Freddie, thank you for being here. Zibby, thank you for being here. Ivan Malat, just try not to kill anyone today, please, Ivan. Take the day off. Air Tommy, thank you for being here. Tate almost got banned for spam, but got away with it. Stopped just in time. Blues Baggers, thank you here with your Crips team. We didn't see your team. Shawnee Man, thank you very much for being here. Angela, of course, love to see Angela. Nashville, nice to see you, Nashville. Corey, we said Corey. Shano, thank you, the very first comment. Thank you, Shano. So again, thank you, everybody. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will talk to you all again very soon.